angry individual.
I guess I am.
Yeah, you're kind of a bitch.
Fucking hell, dude.
Yeah, you're kind of a bitch. Just being honest, bro. I'm just gonna throw it out there, you know.
Yeah, you're adopted.
Golly.
What?
Well, chat, I think right about there. What is good, everybody? We are here with the Game Stream Gang episode 2. Damn it, low key, it feels kind of clean, like saying that. Like the actual title, we got a name. Like, when did we come up with it? Like, didn't we come up with it like the night after the first episode, right?
Yeah.
Hello, I'm like, hello. Like, can I get a response? Like, I'm just.
No.
Y'all gotta be quick with it. Y'all can't be having. If it's more than like a 2-second pause after I'm talking, I'm ending the whole podcast. Y'all gotta be quick with it, bro. Like, nah, I'm just fucking around. But nah, we came up with it like late at night. We were brainstorming for like a good like hour and a half, and I just threw it out there. And low key, like, when I kept saying it at first, I'm like, I don't know, it sounds kind of like a tongue twister, and it sounds like, but once you come up with like the acronym, the GSG, I was like, okay, you kind of got me there, because that's kind of clean. I can rock with that, and we can make a whole play on the characters and whatnot. So the Game Stream Gang is the official title. Unless y'all got something better, let us know. But let me go ahead and do some proper introductions, because I went ahead and like watched the first episode back.
I got one.
And I feel like I kind of hold y'all. So I'm going to give y'all like proper time to let the people know what it is that y'all do, like what days y'all do what, and what are y'all into. So who wants to start off first? Andy, Jaqi, Nemo. You know, quick intro, let them know, you know, what you do.
Man, I think you gotta start it off, bro.
I mean, they already know me, you know, Jordan. I stream whenever the hell I feel like it, random, sporadically. I don't do a full playthroughs.
I was say it kind of is his channel.
Yeah, so I got a backlog that my fucking my comment section probably fucking hates me for, because I don't upload shit to YouTube like fully. So that's pretty much my whole shit in a nutshell. But Andy, go ahead and let the people know what it is that you do and what days you do it on and whatever it is you want to add to that. Hello?
All right. For wait, what? What do you mean, hello? I'm literally talking, bro. I'm out here talking to you like, you better hurry that shit up, bitch.
You waited exactly 2
All
seconds.
right, I'm done. That's my last time. Let me stop being a dick.
Well, I mean, for anyone that doesn't know, I'm HamsterFlag. To these guys, you know, Andy, obviously, whatever.
This man said it like Tony Stark said, "I'm Iron Man."
Oh, I mean,
You
listen,
said Tony Stark. I thought you said, man, like, I was about to say, like, the man who needs no introduction.
how about you shut your ass up while I'm talking, bitch? Right? When you can talk when it's your turn. How about that? Anyway,
You took too long. All right.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7:30 PST. That's usually when I'm live. Usually a shit ton of horror, some meme shit tossed in, but mainly horror.
Yeah, he's not lying about that. Got a lot of hours on that DBD. So chat, you know, feel free to get him to play anything else. I mean, literally anything else, because I have tried and failed miserably. Jaqi, you're next. Let the people know.
I don't think we can beat the introduction I had the first time. What the fuck? That was just too funny.
Danny, first off, that's cap. You know for a fact I've played all of the Resident Evil, Silent Hills, are in progress. You can't say that it's just DVD. It's just if I don't feel like sitting down and suffering, I'll get on and just juke some motherfuckers on DVD. That's all it is.
Yeah, I will give him that. He does have a handful of good playthroughs on horror shenanigans and whatnot, but them DVD hours is they all right. I'm just saying they
indisputable.
You know, they are indeed up there.
They exist. They exist.
But yeah, Jaqi, you stream Tuesdays and Thursdays, correct?
Sure. Yeah. Okay, so I'm Jaqi. I run the channel Jerkuelyn. As you can see down there in the scrolly thing right in front of HamsterFlag. And I say I stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and what I stream, I don't know. You find out when I find out.
Fair enough. You know, I'm not too far off from that myself, so I can't even really knock you for that. So
Danny knows I don't.
all right, and last but not least, we got Nemo. Nemo, do you got an
I
intro?
think I'm not gonna say that. Never mind.
Is Nemo even still here?
Trying to get affiliated. Oh, I'm not in front of my mic. Give me a second. I'm trying to hit affiliate without streaming, boys. Let's go. I'm gonna do some of that shit, some of that new wave shit. You know what I
Hey.
mean?
He says, and he was just live the other day.
All you gotta do is just go viral off some bullshit, and there you go.
Also, I request a name change for the stream name. I want it to be called the Foreskins. All right, 4 of us here.
The Foreskins.
The Foreskins. All right, let's go.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Nemo's he's streaming it.
Fucking A, bro. Fucking A. Fucking A.
Oh my god, bro.
Dear
Put him in
Lord.
timeout.
Put him in timeout. You know what? Ban him.
That actually might be like a feature on this podcast. We might have like a corner, like to just sit people in. Hey, y'all might have to throw me in there every now and then. I'm laying on, but everybody.
No, I
might
think
get a
that's just
turn.
gonna be.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm so mad.
Get fucked.
The streamer mode cuts off those noises because that show would have been funny as fuck for people to hear.
Yeah, I'm already knowing, but yeah, unfortunately, I do have. Wait, I don't know if I have desktop audio muted. I probably do, but I am low key cheating because I did plan on actually playing the game on stream, but I said fuck it, I'm just cutting on the YouTube long play because I'm not trying to get distracted from what I got to say. So yeah, if someone is playing this shit in their ass, I'm like, y'all know this is not my gameplay. My hands are free, so blame whoever the fuck uploaded this shit. But yeah, we'll go ahead and
That's a nice alibi.
yeah, no, that's you know. And then they find out it's like my video that I uploaded. But nah, over this past week, I've been watching our last podcast back and trying to find ways to like I don't know, better ideas to improve. One thing for me, I just gotta learn how to shut the fuck up and not say like like so fucking much, because like every time like while y'all were talking, I'm just like can I just shut the hell up? Like holy hell. But one, I've been doing that, and then two, I've been also looking at a lot of
there's
like,
2 seconds when you're not saying shit. I'm gonna have to interject and be like, you better start saying something.
all right, you get 2, and then after that you gotta wrap it up. But
How come you guys too? I got immediately thrown in the
Nemo, nobody is speaking.
I got fucking thrown in that motherfucker.
Time out again. Time out again.
Actually, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go change Nate's diaper.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, actually, yeah, I forgot to fill y'all in on that. Nemo is the father of the group, so if at any point someone needs to leave and come back, most likely it is going to be him, because you know he's got to deal with all that. So big shout outs to him because yeah, that is a task. So but as I was saying, another thing I've been doing, I've been watching a lot of other people's podcasts and seeing like ideas I can, you know, kind of incorporate into ours. And one that I really like, I know Andy is familiar with Berleezy. He has a podcast called The Speakeasy that he does with a few of his homeboys. And one idea that he does that I really wanted to incorporate into the beginning of our episodes, he does what's called check-ins. And it's kind of like I guess you could say it's like a mental like check-in thing where you kind of just come in and kind of let both the chat and the group know just kind of like where you are throughout the week. The way he does it, they do like high, low, high. So they say like what was like their high point of the week, and then what was their low point of the week, and then they bring it around with another high. And then sometimes there might be a case where, you just had a week where it's just nothing but highs. You didn't really have a low point, or it might be a week where it's just real low. You might have, some advice, you might need from the group, whatever it is. But it's basically just a way to, like I said, just establish where each of us are mentally. And then two, it's just to give a lot of transparency to the chat. Because I know a lot of people who watch content creators can kind of get this assumption that like however the person is on camera is how they are, as a whole, when in reality that's not really the case. So I kind of want to provide that just for them. So I mean, I can start it off because I kind of already know like what my highs and low points are, unless anyone else would like to go first. Anyone? Or is it on me?
Demo it, Chief.
Demo it? All right, say less. All right, so my first high of the week, I got to see my homeboy that moved out of town probably around 2 years ago. He moved over by the coast area near Santa Maria. And I've known him since probably like junior year in high school. We met through like music. Like one day I had posted on Facebook. I was like, damn, like I wanted to record some songs, but like my whole interface just crapped out on me. And he just pulled up one day and like loaned me his whole like sound setup, like not even really like knowing me like that, but he just like did me a favor. Like ever since then, we've been like bros. But it was one of those things like when he moved, like it didn't really hit me at first, but after like a month, I was like, damn, like it's like I kind of understand the concept. Like he's like an hour and a half, 2 away. I can just drive up there and hang out with him, but it's just not the same as like him living up the street, or like him working at the car lot on Weibel, and I could just pull up and hang out with him. So it was one of those things I had to like adjust to, like. I didn't lose a friend, but in a way, like I just don't have that, there to, just go hang out with him. But like I say, he came into town. It was his birthday, and we spent time. We went to Don Perico's with his family, and it was cool. The vibe and everything was nice, and it was just a nice little break from, work and whatnot. But this kind of gets into my low point because during that time when I was like kind of hanging out with him and both his family, my mind was still kind of preoccupied with, I got to hurry up and wrap this up so I can get back out and get in, back to work in the traffic. Cause, for those that don't know, I'm a Lyft driver. So I kind of pick my own hours, and usually like weekend nights are pretty, good money. And the whole time I was like so focused on that, and I kind of came to the realization that like, man, like, why am I not enjoying this moment that I'm in? Like, I'm seeing my homie for the first time in like I don't know how long, yet I'm more focused on, going out to work, and making money. Like, why am I worried about that? Like, that's the last thing I should be worried about. But then also like I kind of started to feel like, well, it's part of what I have to do. And I kind of start to reach like this boiling point of, just being stuck in like this mental cycle where I just constantly feel the need to just work and grind nonstop. And I think he kind of realized that like, I was just like not really in the moment. He was just like, are you good? And I was like, yeah, like I just, I'm just trying to wrap things up and get out to work. And then he kind of looked, he was like, what you mean? Like, you go out to work, like we haven't seen each other. Then like I kind of talked to him a little bit about it, and I don't know, it's one of those things. I'm having a hard time just dealing with finding a balance between just work life and having times where I can just relax. And I spoke to someone, they say that's probably the reason why I'm just so tired and exhausted. Like most of the time is because even the time that I take off, I don't mentally relax. So I feel like that leads into like more fatigue, and like I feel like this week, like I said, that kind of came to a boiling point, and it kind of sucked that I didn't really appreciate that moment because I was just so focused about the wrong things. And but to bring it all around and to wrap it all up, like while it does suck to kind of be in that grind state, this was the first month in a while where everything was paid on time, and I didn't have to, get a loan from anybody or do anything. Everything was set smooth. Jaqi and Andy know that I've had, issues in the past with, that situation. And this month was the first time in a while where I didn't have that problem. So I think that's cool. So that's pretty much my mental check-in. That's where my highs and lows are. So
that's good, bro.
Yeah, you feel me?
I'm glad.
So yeah, a little bit of a rough week, but I think in the end, like I kind of saw the positives in it, and that, like another reason why I kind of want to do these things is so like next week, if I give my check-in, it can hopefully build off of this week's, we can see progress and whatnot and see where we go from there. But anyone else got like any highs or lows or anything that like good happened this week or anything?
I just got here.
Okay.
Nemo.
No. Well, he did say he had to go handle that. So.
Fuck, man. I was trying to catch up.
Well, no, Jordan is asking if we're trying to do a thing called like a mental check-in, pretty much talking about the week, a good like a high point, low point. You got anything like that, Nemo?
Double in and give it to the person.
Damn, I need a cricket. I need a cricket effect on my soundboard for Nemo. All right, Andy, you're up.
I guess if I had to say, I think the week was pretty well rounded, man. I work in an office as a day job, and I mean, man, it's just been a busy week. That's all it is, really. Like, good thing is that I could definitely say that I think everything's gonna be good for the month. Usually halfway through the month, I'm like, okay, where am I financially? Like, how are the bills looking and shit like that, and it's looking pretty good. Like it's like a little mental thing I have to do every time it's the middle of the month. Otherwise, I kind of just feel weird. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense to anybody.
Nah, I get you.
But because fuck, the way I see it, like the only times you really get to spend money really is during like the first 2 weeks of the month, because the last 2 weeks you're kind of just piling up the money for the bills and shit when they hit.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty solid at least. I finally got the guitar that I ordered to kind of be, well, I mean, not even. It's like a little thing to kind of commemorate the whole knife run that we did and shit, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, big shout out to everybody that comes through the streams and shit. You guys show way too much love that I feel like I deserve. So I mean, I just wanted to take a moment to say, thank you to you guys and shit. And yeah, if it wasn't for you guys, I don't think I'd be able to do little things like that. I mean, I get that this is very much like a give and take, right? Um, as any content creation goes. I'd imagine, but still, it's kind of nuts to me that that's just how things are going so far. Like I'm still in shock that it's to a point at all where um I'm not out of pocket completely when it comes to just trying to get something for myself because I don't really treat myself too much, and Jackie would probably back that pretty consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I mean, I guess if I had to say like a low thing for the week, I like spending time with my niece, and I don't really get to do that this week. But I mean, it's not even like it's Nemo's fault or my fault, really. You know, life happens, and unfortunately, you don't get to spend time or as much time as you would want with family and shit sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, so far, if I wanted to work on anything this week, it'd probably be to spend a little bit more time with my niece and shit.
Understandable. Family is, important.
Yeah,
I got me a
but
new watch. Oh man, I got it for a fucking steel die.
So yeah, as you can see, there's definitely a big contrast between certain people's highs and certain people's lows, which is not an issue. And I feel like that can be another thing that can, put things in perspective for us. Cause I might get on here one week and be like, damn, like my low for the week was like catching a flat tire, and I'll be pissed as hell about that. But then like Andy's low might be worse than that, and that might like wake me up, and I'll be like, well, damn, what the fuck am I over here being pissed off about if he's dealing with that? So let me shut the fuck up and like So that's like another reason why I like to bring stuff,
nah, I mean,
stuff up like this.
I get that. I think though that that's kind of like not a great thing for everyone to do though, because I kind of feel like that invalidates
Yeah, no,
if someone's just having a bad day. Because I mean, fuck, if one thing's I had to see my mom or whatever, right? Like under any context, you'd probably be like, well, I mean, wow, yeah, you got to see your mom or whatever. Like some people don't get to do that, right?
yeah.
Um, but some people might not know. Like family situations can be kind of tricky sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
But yeah, no, I mean, for you, dude, I'm just glad that your financial worries aren't like as prominent because I know that was a big thing, and
mm-hmm.
that whole situation is kind of fucked.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I do understand like the negatives that come with that, like you said, where you don't want to feel like you're somewhat invalidating someone else's problems by having something that's worse. It's just it's one of those things that just kind of, like I said, just puts things into perspective for you, and it makes you look at things different. Because in reality, a lot of problems do boil down to perspective, just how you look at it. And usually, if you just look at it from a different angle, it's not as bad as you really think it is. It doesn't mean that it's not a problem. It's just not as, like I said, it's not as severe.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But Nemo said he got to watch. I don't think he has any lows, so we're just gonna leave it with that. Jackie, you gotta.
No, I'm not allowed to talk about lows.
Which is fine. Like if you don't, if you don't want to share them,
Not safe for him.
like if you either, I mean, if you don't want to share them or you just don't have any, like I said, it's all fine. Like we just want to, like for those who do have something to say, we just want to give these first like 10 to 20 minutes of the podcast to kind of just give that platform for people that just want to get anything off their chest. You feel me?
Yeah, no, I get you.
I get you.
Yeah, but with that being said, one thing I did want to talk about before we move on to like the main topics, how do you guys feel about doing these as recordings versus doing them as like live streams? Do you think like, yeah. Like, what's your take on like how we doing? Like, do you think it matters how?
Nah. I mean, like, I'm kind of like, well, I feel like it's a little harder to do live, if anything, right? Because you gotta like focus on a bunch of things.
Yeah, in a way, and sometimes I feel like it can either if I'm playing something, it can detract from like my train of thought, what I'm trying
What's
to
going
say,
on with the conversation
and
or whatever.
then two, one thing I'm kind of dealing with now, and I dealt with like last stream. I feel like a lot of times I ignore chat because I'm just so invested on what you guys are saying or what I'm saying, and then like I have to constantly like either catch up with chat or just ignore it. Like, so I do feel like it would be a little bit, easier to do as recordings, but like I said, at the end of the day, like if any one of
But,
us
you know,
like
there's 4 of us. One of us has to be typing. You know.
yeah, so at the end of the day, like it doesn't really matter if anyone in the group goes live, but I think for me, I'm kind of leaning toward like just doing recordings, but I just wanted to get your guys like take on like, if you feel like it would be better to just leave it as live.
No,
I think
yeah.
it depends on whatever you think is best for everybody. Because I feel like recordings, you can probably get a lot in and stretch that content out for weeks,
Yeah.
depending on what is recorded. So if that's, for like fallbacks, sometimes you can't always stream. So I think it
Yeah.
just depends.
Fucking James is subbing for subbing.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, dude, I got a funny ass story real quick.
yeah, go ahead.
All right, so this morning I got on with the boys, Matt and my boy James. We're all playing Nikkei, and James has this. Plead the fifth.
He's like, speaking of devil.
And
You can't talk about it.
James has a bit where anytime we're playing and what they call a flash sale comes up, he kind of goes like, "Oh wow, dude! I mean that's crazy. There's just gems right there, right?" And sometimes he buys them and goes, "Whoa, bro, look at that! I picked up some gems, right?"
Yeah.
Bro, I never in my life have I had to actively plea for someone not to spend money on a game. My boy was hovering over $100 purchase on Nikkei for summons. And I was like, James, listen, don't do it. It's not worth the money, bro. Like, do not drop the 100 for the summons. Your luck is kind of ass. I'm not gonna lie to you. And for a solid, I want to say half hour, that was the conversation that was happening. Matt wasn't helping because he was like, "Oh man, that's a pretty good deal." Even though Matt's not gonna spend $100 on this fucking game. And well, my boy just randomly happened to have $100 worth of gems and shit. You get what I'm saying? And those are some of the best pulls he's ever had in his fucking life. I was laughing my ass off because he has a bit where everyone knows he can't pull shit on this game. And that was his best shit. He's like, can't nobody tell me nothing. I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to hear shit. So he started fucking bragging to his friends because they have a different Discord. And they have a channel named Gotcha Hell. So he said, don't be mad. He pulled some crazy shit. I won't lie. But it was just kind of funny that my boy dropped 100 willingly, like as if it was like not even a question on his mind. I never thought that I had to explain to someone, please don't give them your money. But James is part of that demographic, and that shit was a roller coaster of a time.
God damn.
That's like the best feeling though. Like when you can't pull shit, you finally get a good pull, and you're like, all right, I want more.
That's exactly what he was on. He was like, all right, which other one was James?
As they say, anything for my Nika.
Real shit though, my boy pulled some bangers. I won't even lie. To you.
Oh my god. But see, that's the thing about those gotcha games. Like, I could only spend money confidently knowing that like I'm gonna get something. If it's all like luck of the draw, I don't think you're gonna get that money out of me. But 100 is a steep eesh. He a better man than me.
Hey man, like he said, anything for his Nikkei.
Like I feel like I'm so cheap of a person when I see other people do that, it hurts me. I'm just like, golly, like I get like,
oh, don't get me wrong.
I get like secondhand, like I don't know what's the word for it, but I feel like that shit hurts my pockets too.
Dude,
You know
you
what the
know
best
why I didn't go to Korean barbecue?
What?
That's the reason why.
Oh my god. Meanwhile, I'm not going because I just don't want to deal with people. He just don't have the money.
Why fucking bro? The worst part is that I want to say like 2 minutes pass, right? And then I hear his phone go off, and I go, "That's your bank calling you because they think you got scammed right now, right?" And he goes, "Hello," and I started laughing because he was like, "Oh," and then hung up.
Oh, I have to reconfirm it. They called me like 20 minutes ago again. I just confirmed in my ass.
Yeah, because that was one of the things I was telling him. I was like, "Bro, you just press a couple buttons, and they go, did you spend this much?" And he goes, "Yeah," and then there you go. Like, you never have to worry about it again.
This is blasphemy, dude. I was like, no, they hacked my bank, spent the money.
And they refunded you, and then you're like, "I'm gonna spend that money again."
I mean, but theoretically, can't you just make up some bullshit story to get that money back?
It's always investigation if that's the case.
Oh
Yeah.
I feel like at that point it's not even worth it. Like, you know what? Just keep the fucking 100. Like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's hilarious.
My boy is wild as fuck, though. I will say.
Yeah.
I pulled 3 of the best units in one pull.
Yeah. Yeah, he got a triple after getting nothing. No, I'm saying nothing for like 8 straight pulls.
God damn.
Not even 8 straight pulls, man. 4 months.
Oh God, I didn't know it was that
since
bad.
November, dude. Since November.
Yeah, that sounds like down bad syndrome in my opinion, but sheesh. But low key, that kind of segues into, because there was something I wanted to bring up last week, but we didn't quite have time to. You guys are pretty big fans of MK, right? Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if y'all heard. Well, I know a lot of people that they're kind of like it's still news to them because technically it wasn't like officially announced. It was more like a leak through some type of investor call. But apparently, Mortal Kombat 12 is on the way. But the only thing that sucks is you don't want something leaked through an investor call because investors, you know, their only focus is, you know, one fucking thing, which is, you know, that money. So if they're bringing up Mortal Kombat,
yeah,
most likely they're gonna be including some bullshit. And I don't know about y'all, but MK11 was kind of like drawing a line on, we just want you to spend like an infinite amount of time within this game or just drop a few bucks. And that shit was kind of pissed me off. I think the one thing that irritated me the most was Shao Kahn was only available as a pre-order. You had to pre-order the game to get him. But then when you go to the crypt, which is like some type of side function to unlock all the side content, I wanted to unlock something specifically, but in order to do so, I had to perform 50 fatalities or some crazy amount on each character, with Shao Kahn included. But I'm like, how the fuck can I perform fatalities on Shao Kahn if I don't have him as a pre-order bonus? Long story short, I had to like find him in some online tower and challenge him, but that shit was fucking annoying. But there's been word going around that they're like adding like some type of crafting mechanic and more time consuming bullshit. Like, how do y'all feel about MK going in this like microtransaction time, like consumer heavy path? Hello?
Oh, so we're talking about games in general now.
All right, listen, you had your 2, all right? Enough with the
No,
bullshit.
but like no, that was an actual like long ass gap. Am I tripping or what?
No.
Am I
No.
tripping?
What,
There
really?
was no, bitch. There was no fucking gap. You literally said, "What do you guys think?" Hello?
No
Like
fucking
literally
way.
in the next breath.
No fucking,
fucking way. There was no gap. There was no gap. I'm gonna clip it right the fuck now.
Danny, please back me up. Danny,
Shut up.
you're a witness to all this shit.
Shut up. I'm doing the clip. I'm checking the clip right now. Shut up.
Oh
Huh?
no. Whoa.
My bad.
While
Eddie was
this
on
is
my lap,
happening,
so-
I was gonna say that it's actually a good thing James is here because I think I've told you, but I think James is probably I would argue that out of everybody that we know in our circle or whatever, James is definitely the best at fighting games. I have to give that shit to him. He actually was one of the top ranked players in Street Fighter 4 for Evil Ryu, something like that. And I will say he's pressed my shit like no other in any fucking fighting game we play, bro. Like you thought it was bullshit playing against me on that Dragon Ball Z game. Fuck no, bro.
He made
I
my
did-
boy Matt quit the game, dude.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. But no, for real, like, I think this is a good thing.
Hey, yo,
that James
I
is
think
here.
your internet's just fucked.
You think Jordan's internet's fucked?
internet is
Yeah,
fucked.
because in the clip, oh my god, in the clip there is like 10 seconds of dead silence. But then the weirder part is there is 10 more seconds of dead silence when we all were like, whoa, bitch, hold the fuck on. Because there was no pause for us.
Oh, dude, that might make sense. 'Cause I was
Yeah.
like, dude.
Oh, okay, good. So none of us are tripping. It's just some weird connectivity bullshit going on. All right.
Jordan has
Yeah.
that IRL stream
dude,
delay, dude.
Dead ass. Dead ass.
Okay.
For
So
me and Andy, anyway, for me and Andy, there was absolutely no pause between you saying, "What do you guys think?" Hello. That's why
Yeah.
we thought that you were doing a bit because there was absolutely no. It was like in the same breath. That's why we were both like, "Whoa, hold on, bitch."
wow.
Yeah.
But in your stream, there's like 10 seconds of dead silence, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? But then even between where you go, hello, there's like 5 more seconds before we even react to it. But I know for a fact, me and Andy reacted in the same time, within the same breath. That's why we reacted so strongly.
Let me try
Yeah,
something. Let me try
yeah.
a trick real quick. Let me X out of this bullshit. Maybe that might alleviate like the crazy ass lag, but yeah, okay. Knowing that from now on, I will give y'all like plenty of time to respond. I'll
No,
cut
no,
that
it's okay.
shit
It's
the
funny
fuck
as
out.
fuck. That was funny as shit. But it was just the fact that it was like, what the fuck?
Oh
This
yeah, because I was
This man
like,
said, "Don't think,
because
start
I was like,
speaking."
bro, I know I'm not tripping. I was like, I literally sat there and I was like, damn, like, did everyone just like leave the call or what? Like,
See, what gets me though is that this kind of makes me think that time is going by so fucking slow for Jordan and really fucking fast for us.
She's like fast forwarded for our crap. He's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
sitting there
yeah.
like, where the fuck did you guys go?
I'm in.
Yeah, this dude's he saw click one time and he was like, yeah, you know what? That's what I'm on right now.
He
I
has that
fast forwarded.
IRL delay, man. I don't know what to
Yeah.
tell you.
Oh my god! Like James, did you see anything weird too or no?
I didn't see it. I heard it.
Oh,
He just
okay.
gave us no reaction to say anything.
Daniel, there was nothing. There was no pause because literally I could hear Andy like inhaling to start speaking his opinion, and in that exact moment is when you were like, "Hello." We were like, "What the fuck, dude?" Like, can't even think about what we want to think about. You instantly.
Yeah. Well, anyway, like I was saying, I think it's cool
Dear
that
Lord.
a new MK game is coming out. Those are always hype. But what I will say is that I still think that the best one that's come out in recent years has been 10. MKX is
Yeah.
just too fire, bro.
By far, I think till this day, Max and like his whole like video games group, they'll stream that shit for hours. Cause for one, it was like the most fast paced. Like for me, it feels like my old school favorite. I think Mortal Kombat 3, like the ultimate version, because that one had a run button. You could rush people down and do all types of crazy shit. But 11 switched it up to like a more footsie type of gameplay, where it's just like
A lot more patient.
Yeah, it feels like a game of like, I don't know, like tic-tac-toe or something where you're just guessing what the
They
opponent's gonna
kept it
do.
up like the skill base of Street Fighter 4. That's what I felt like playing.
Yeah, in a way, but I was just pissed they took out Ermac. I'm like, y'all fucked it up with that. Because Ermac
Well, I thought
was my
that they
guy.
had Ermac, but they just
He makes like a small cameo in the story and he like dies or something, which the whole killing characters off, that shit is dumb too. Like, just keep him on a roster.
Yeah. There was no need for fucking Scorpion to die.
Yeah, like
Dude,
You know
just
what
pull
gets
a
me, though?
Heihachi on Tekken, dude. He's come back from a volcano.
and like Danny said, they removed Takeda. Why would you introduce characters like him, Kung Jin, and Ferritor and X and then immediately remove them in the following game? Like, for what?
Yeah, and I mean, like the other thing that trips me the fuck out a little bit is they did some questionable shit by introducing characters like Rain and stuff. Where did Rain ever make it to MK11? Am I tripping? Like, I don't think he was there, right?
As DLC, but excuse me, not like an actual story. Wait, was
Okay,
he in the
okay.
story? I don't know. I think he was in the story of one of the games, but
He is inside the story.
Yeah, but it was like when Devora was on her crazy ass spree of taking out people she had no business taking out.
She was not that strong, dog.
That's what I'm saying.
Come on, Michael Jordan, her fucking ass next to us here, dude.
I feel like the power scaling in the MK universe is kind of it's
kind of wild.
Yeah, like sometimes like characters lose a certain fight. You're like, I don't understand how he lost that, but okay, like this weird shit.
Yeah, I mean, if as long as they don't make some weird plays, because I know that MK9 was that the precursor to 10, or did 10 just restart?
Wait, as far as like where the story's going?
Yeah, because I know one of those was where they started to rework the timeline. Like
that's 11, I believe, because I mean, I was gonna say spoiler alert, but MK11 is, I don't know how, if you haven't played it by now, I don't know what to tell you. But basically I think Liu Kang, he inherits Raiden's power, right? And he becomes like the fire / lightning god, and he goes back in time to the original Kung Lao, and he basically restarts the whole like timeline.
I mean, technically in 10, your playthrough is basically the timeline of 11. So
so it was 10 that they introduced.
Because you know how the medallion of Raiden, it just kept on cracking?
Yeah.
And then that's basically your game through of 11, and you realize that's a different timeline, so you move to 11.
Sometimes I wish they would just leave timelines alone when it comes to story. That shit complicates so much.
I mean, yeah, especially because like Mortal Kombat's a game where you can't just go off of like MK1, 2, 3, 4, like, because Armageddon had a big I guess factor to play into why they ended up changing shit or thinking that they gotta like redo the whole timeline in the first place.
Yeah,
though.
but isn't Armageddon the start of like them having the whole like multiverse shit? Like that's when they realized like, oh, there's like different universes of Raiden, and this one he's evil and that one he's good. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, I'm not too sure, to be honest. Like I'm kind of lost in the weeds of all that shit.
Yeah, I've only seen like YouTube videos of Armageddon, but I've never actually like played it myself.
I mean, yeah, I think James was the one telling me a lot about it, to be honest, because I don't think I played it. I think that was one of the games that was on PlayStation or maybe even the Vita or some shit that I didn't get to play.
It's more of different scenarios than actual being like evil or good. It's different scenarios.
Nah, this fool Danny just said game lore being confusing is good. Can you elaborate on that? Because what is that?
Explain Kingdom Hearts then.
That was my prime example. I'm like, explain Kingdom Hearts, because I don't know about 3. 3 is where you start to lose me.
I'm confused. I think that it's more of a detriment now because like um I mean I guess the best example I could think of off the top of my head is something like how um what the Elden Ring.
Yeah,
Elden Ring has a weird story that you got to piece together.
yeah.
But if you just go down a central route, I mean, the good part about that game is that they have a centralized story that you can go through. But if you wanted to get a different ending, that's when you take the twists and turns. And if you start reading everything, you're like, oh, okay, I can get more and more of the story together.
I get you. So I feel like I'll say this: game lore being confusing is good as long as it all comes together in the end. If it doesn't all click in the end, then I'm pissed off. And I feel like a somewhat good example of that is maybe Death Stranding. Cause like the whole game I was kind of like, what the fuck? But then by the end I was like, oh, okay, now I like it.
I haven't played it, so that's for sure something for Jaqi to chime in on because I don't know.
No, it's just exactly as you said. The whole time you're like, "What the fuck's going on?" And then like it hits a very specific point, and then
Yeah.
you start going, "Oh."
Exactly.
Okay. I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, I'm not saying that a story should be spoon fed to you, but it should be at least sensible in the direction that it goes to. Because I think that's the main reason that I got put off of like Attack on Titan right now. Is that like the whole climax right now is just fucking stupid to me. The concept of it.
The beginning, the middle, and the end should not be three different parts. The beginning, the middle, and the end should all equal to each other.
Yeah, like there's a mind fuck where it's like, oh yeah, that one thing that we went over in the middle of the first one, that's why we're here. And then I'd be like, oh, that's fucking cool. But if they're just bullshitting, then they're just bullshitting is the way that I think about it.
Yeah. A part of me kind of wishes you guys had played both the Last of Us games, because someone had made a interesting point, like kind of a comparison between that and Attack on Titan, and the reason why people dislike both is they both kind of do the same thing, is where like they build up these characters and then like at some point they try to flip flop and make you care for like the opposite side, or they try to make it seem like, oh, like this whole time like this person was really the villain, and it's like, huh, like that doesn't really make, like, this kind of contradicts a lot of stuff that happened at the beginning. And then like in some ways it makes sense and in some ways it comes together, but in I'll say even in some aspects you can understand what they're trying to do, but you don't necessarily like respect it or agree with it, so you're just like, whatever.
Okay, so I can kind of get it, but it still trips me out that um Aaron is such an infuriating fucking character. So that's why I'm trying to like draw the parallel between, because he seemed pretty promising to me in the first two seasons. And then in the third season, when I'm like, all right, listen, everyone else got some cool shit going on from, first season. Because first season, it ends and you're like, okay, yo, I like Aaron. It seems like he's about that action.
Yeah.
And towards the second one, it's like it's more centered around Mikasa and Levi being, nuts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when the third one comes up, when they do the whole interception and shit, I first like Nemo will vouch for me, bro. I was like, okay, listen, if Aaron does some goated shit, and I hope he does, because I hate when the main character of an anime just fucking sucks dick. Because no matter how good the supporting characters are, if the majority of the show is centered around that main person, then it kills it for me. You get what I'm saying? That's why I can't really watch My Hero, because I get that has a lot of really good side characters too and shit. But Midoriya pisses me off. Like, he's such a stupid fucking character.
No, I don't fucking like him, dude.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I feel like that kind of just hurts the story, because you're. I mean, when it's a character where it's like you either love him or you hate him, right? Um, it doesn't mean that you got to make him so unlikable. Because, like, think about Goku, right? Goku's a bit of an idiot. I don't think anybody can argue that. for a lot of
No,
people.
he is an idiot. Not a bit of an idiot.
No, yeah,
He is
I
an
get that.
idiot
No,
super.
he is.
But people can literally be like, Vegeta's my favorite character, and you know, it doesn't take away from the conversation of Dragon Ball Z, right? Like you're still like, oh, okay, whoa, I get it. In this case, like I can't just be like, oh, well, fucking, I like let's say Levi or whatever, um, because I liked Irwin a lot. I thought Irwin was one of the cooler characters, and the fact that they kind of just swept his ass under the rug, I was like, bro, this story would be so much better if it was just centered around Levi and Irwin, right? Like if you just fucking cut Aaron out of the equation, that is still a 10 times more like tantalizing story to me. And I'd argue that a lot of people would agree the same way. Because I mean, it kind of goes back to the whole reason why I don't like Boruto either. You have good characters surrounding these characters, and they kind of just fuck it up with dumb little subplots and shit that don't even rely or revolve around the right character.
Yeah, don't they have like a OVA of how Irwin like recruited Levi?
They might, and I mean,
Yeah,
like,
they
I'm
did.
all
They
for
did.
shit like that.
Yeah, because I remember seeing like clips of Levi being like what do you call it? Not like a thief, but he was like kind of like a Robin Hood type character where he would like, you know, steal food from certain people and like feed his people. And I guess like Irwin like was tasked to like come after him, and that's like he called him, but he was like, you know, you like maneuver really good. Do you want to like work for me type shit? And I guess like
Yeah.
that's how they started off. But like I feel like stuff like that is like more interesting. I want to see more of that, but unfortunately, you don't get shit like that.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Like, dude, Full Metal Alchemist works so well. Cause like, don't get me wrong, I would love to get more out of like Roy Mustang, right? His whole fucking crew and shit. But Ed and Al made such really good main story characters, and the way that they their attitude was about the whole thing, about everything they went through or whatever. Um, it's kind of hard not to be interested by them, right? Like that's a good example of really good main characters and really good side characters existing in this fucking world together. I don't like it when the main character is just kind of lackluster and they introduce some really cool shit that I wish that they would go over with a different character or a different plot. And I don't know, it just kind of ruins it for me. I get when people enjoy those shows, right? But for me personally, I don't like just having some bullshit, some anime bullshit. You get what I'm saying? I like having a good story. I mean, I'm saying that knowing that I like Dragon Ball Z a lot, but my main characters or the main characters that I like are not the type to progress on some stupid anime bullshit. It's more like I like their story, I like the narrative, I like their vibe. And I mean, you know, when the show doesn't center around strictly just Goku, because they made it a very much Vegeta and Goku oriented thing, it's a cool contrast between those two.
I get that. I mean, it's an understandable, criticism. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, most animes, a lot of people watch them to have that relationship with the main character or the protagonist. So if you don't really have that, and it kind of takes a big element out of it.
Yeah. But back to like games and shit. I would say this the same thing for games. Like if it's overcomplicated or they go down a dumb route when they have like good characters that they can expand on or a story that they can expand on, I kind of feel like it's a waste, right? Like especially, and I mean, it's bad if they decided to fix the game or patch up some holes by introducing DLC when you paid full for the fucking game in the first place. But um,
Leave my
I,
Pokemon alone.
bro, that's not even just Pokemon. That's so many games, unfortunately.
It's a lot
Yeah.
of games. Like Elden
But
Ring didn't really need it though.
no, yeah, like I mean, you and me, that's our first Souls like, and we both enjoyed it a lot for what it was. Like, I don't think there's anything really wrong with that. But anyway, I mean, like James, I'm kind of rusty on like the whole way that 11 ended. But like, do you think there's like a sensible way that they should go about going for 12, or do you think it's kind of like they need to just make a game, an MK game, and focus on that instead?
Well, I didn't even hear about spoiler. That's what I say a spoiler. An Easter egg about 11 or no 12. I had no clue, so I wouldn't even know. To be honest, I don't think they should take the route of the footsies. I think they should make it back on 10
Yeah, I
because
mean,
you know
gameplay
how
wise, yeah.
NetherRealm they introduced Injustice and they had the crafting system which Jordan said
Yeah.
that they might implement on 12, and I felt that game was horrible just because you could do one single combo and one shot somebody. There is no tournament aspect how 11 did it, but at the same time they forced you to pick only 3 roles, and that was kind of awful.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, bro. I think that what kind of killed it for me on 11 was the fact that like didn't rank play let you bring in custom sets for characters or whatever?
Uh, I mean the costumes you can put inside, but
Yeah, I don't.
not
No,
really.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think ranked. I think only this player matches you could. But if you went to ranked, you had to use like one of the 2 sets they had, just pre-made for you.
Okay, yeah. And see, like I think that with 10, it was cool that they had 3 different variations and you got to choose between that because it's more or less like you knew more or less what variation did what depending on how much you played against that, right?
Yeah, and I feel like variations in 11 were kind of lackluster compared to X.
Well, yeah. I mean, first you only get 2, right, that you can actually use in
Mhm.
competitive play or whatever, and then on top of that, um, I think that like, even for Xenoverse, bringing a creative character is just bad. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it kind
It's
of
like
takes away from the identity of
Yeah,
like
that's a
the
whole
characters it is.
different level of cheese in Xenoverse.
Yeah,
why they give the humans an option, dude? Like we all know no one's gonna pick it.
Like for real. I think the last time I was playing Xenoverse, the most broken ability was is his name Birder? Is that the blue guy from
Yep.
he had like this spinning kick where he would cause like a blue tornado and that shit
Yep,
was
yep.
broken as fuck. I was like,
Yeah.
golly, I'm not playing this shit anymore.
You know who's broken? Ribrianne, man. I
Oh,
played
no.
her.
I didn't make it to that. I didn't even know she was in the game. That's crazy.
She shot a
Ja-
big ass heart. That thing took like 30 bars off.
James is a rank 1 Rebrian player. Just so you know.
That game is nuts, man. Like it's like you don't really give it that much flack because like DBZ, like the series has balancing issues. So of course the game is gonna have
Yeah.
balancing issues, but
The funny thing is though, like people take what characters say to each other in like games like Xenoverse and Legends seriously. Like how
mhm.
that's supposed to mean like how strong they are. Like with Beast Gohan,
Yeah,
everyone was saying, "Oh, Goku's actually saying he's gonna be a challenge." This like it's a game. It's a video game.
yeah.
He'd
Oh,
never
you're
be a
talking
fucking
about?
challenge. That like
Are you talking about like what they did with that one game James plays, Dokkan Battle or whatever?
no, I stopped playing.
I haven't played that in a year and a half.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
I'm
Now
talking
I'm
about how some
behind.
people reach in games, like in content.
What do you mean?
All right. So what I was trying to say is people will like Dragon Ball Z fans especially. We love power scaling, right? To the point where we'll take Legends seriously. Like, well, not all of us. I'm saying like those people will take Legends seriously, saying how
Define those people.
filthy weebs. All right, they'll take. Oh, Goku says, "Oh, this is gonna be a challenge when he's fighting Beast Gohan." And like, "Oh, I gotta take you seriously." Or Piccolo says, "Oh, we're the same level now." When like I'm almost certain they're not.
You know what though? That sentence right there kind of just tells it all. Like, oh, now I could take you seriously,
Yeah.
which is laughable. I mean, like realistically speaking, does that not sound like now I can finally stand up? You get what I'm saying? Like that's the vibe I get when I hear shit like that. One of the biggest anime tropes, if I may add to that as well.
I don't need to tie my shoes against you. This is gonna be a fun one. You know what I
Fucking
mean?
yeah.
It's that kind of shit.
It is goofy, bro. Like there's so many anime tropes that I think are just goofy to experience, and when you think about it and take it apart, it's a lot of shit like that.
Kind of get tired of the tournament ones,
I mean, tournament ones.
tournament arcs, dude, in anime.
Yeah, I've realized that lately. Like, I forgot what was the last one I watched. And normally tournament arcs I get hyped for, but I was just like, oh, like another one? Like, I feel like they're getting a little bit played out.
Because I kind of feel like with the only one that kind of did it, well, only two that kind of did it right, was Naruto with the tuning exams. Because like when there was like a first half of it where you saw Gaara get his shit like rocked, and then you got the second half of it, and like it was like it flowed with the story, and then you get some where like all right, it's a dig measuring contest now, you know?
Well, I feel like that's kind of what Jordan's getting at. Is most of the time a tournament arc and anime is just a dick measuring contest
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yeah. Okay, and I think I remember what it was. And this is why I kind of didn't mind it, because while I was like, another tournament arc, I realized that this was like the OG tournament arc. And it was when I was going back to watch Yu Yu Hakusho for the first time. Because the Dark Tournament arc is like the one that really made tournament arcs like, all right, like we need to do more of these because that shit's fire. But when I first saw it, like get introduced, I was like, here we go. But then by the end, I was like, okay, I can see why people like reference this arc a lot.
I think it's mainly a shonen thing though for tournaments.
No, I was gonna say shonen trope is like I'm using 50% of my power, you know?
I mean, but
no, I mean shonen tropes are there's so many.
But technically, what's his name? Taguro did the same thing, so they had a tournament arc with that trope as well.
I was fine with them doing it though. All right.
I mean, I guess it just has to fit the vibe of the show. Because if JoJo's ever had a tournament arc, I'd be like, all right, listen.
Steel Ball Run kind of counts as their tournament arc.
Well, I'll be real.
It's a race arc, but
yeah,
like,
it's their tournament shit. So
it's fucking horse racing.
Also, Dio's a dinosaur. Counts. Like what?
It still counts.
I don't watch JoJo, so I'm a little bit lost here.
No, I understand.
It went from vampires to imaginary friends, so it doesn't matter if you understand or not.
You leave my fosters alone.
What the heck? The Cartoon Network?
All right.
The Cartoon Network.
Real quick. I gotta fucking turn Sound Redemptions off while I'm doing this shit, because otherwise I'm gonna have to edit that shit out in the pocket. That shit is so loud and it comes in so ridiculously. So Danny, please do not redeem anything more for the rest of this shit. I'm just letting you know right now. Next time I stream, you can let them all go, but I need to fucking turn that shit off next podcast I do.
See, that's the opposite of what the fuck happened with me. I was pissed that my fucking sound alerts didn't work.
Oh
man, stole like 1,000.
Did you ever get that fixed
for me?
Dude, it wasn't even me that got it fixed. It was a blurb thing. Like their servers were down. I got a ping in the morning because I was like, "What the fuck? What did I miss?" And then they like at 1:30 something, they were like, "Oh, everything's fixed. You should be fine." And I was like, "What, bitch? Not 2 hours ago when I was still streaming before you guys put that out there, it was broken. But now, I don't know."
I mean,
it was annoying.
They be doing the same shit as Spectrum. They be like, "Oh yeah, internet's down." Then the second like it's like midnight or 1 o'clock, it'll come back on. Like, bitch, I'm getting ready to go to bed now. What the fuck?
I'm getting tired of them planning these fucking outages, man.
Planning these outages is crazy.
They gotta be planned because they be going off at the same time, like every day, like clockwork.
When's the latest one? Because I haven't my Spectrum hasn't went out for like at least a month.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
gonna get off
same.
topic. Have you guys seen that video of Jake Paul running from 20 people?
Talking about when he got pressed by Mayweather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, like,
Go on, Nemo. Go on.
It's 20 people. All right. I would not fight 20 people, but hey, if this is one person calling me out, I might lose the ones, but let's go.
well, if he wasn't a fucking clown, he wouldn't have to worry about
Yeah.
getting jumped.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because he always doing stupid shit. Like when they were organizing the fight with Mayweather and he took his hat and he was like, aha, I got your hat. My nigga, you will get your teeth knocked out for doing some child shit like that, bro. Like, go somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Jake, it's like, I don't want to have animosity toward him, but he kind of makes it hard.
Bro, did you not catch the most recent shit he's been doing? He's just been making excuses for why he lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you know.
He coughed, right?
No. It's more than that. Like he went on his brother's podcast and it went deeper. Like he didn't just go with, oh yeah, I got sick a couple times during camp, and you know there was an injury I had on my arm while we were working out. But it is what it is. I just didn't feel 100%. Even though there's an interview that literally shows right before the fight, yeah, I'm feeling the best I ever have, man. But that's besides the point. He went on his brother's podcast and was like, yeah, dude, I knew I lost because I had like a wet dream.
Wait. Pause.
I'm not even playing, bro. He said that shit. And I was like, okay, bro.
Look,
now
I may
now
not
you're
like
just
if I feel
clowning.
like you're making shit up, like my guy.
look it up. Look it up. Just look it up. There's a clip. There's literally a clip.
Okay, hang on. Just for clarification, the Paul brothers are famous for what exactly?
Exactly.
I mean, like, no,
Logan.
before they started fighting.
Oh, it was
Vine.
Vines, and then
Yeah, like Logan.
got picked up on the Mavericks, right?
No.
No, it's
No.
literally because of Musically and Vine. And as soon as they got over 1 mil on YouTube from that, they start branching out their,
Yeah,
shit.
Disney and shit like that.
Okay, and like around like what age like did they like pop off? Like were they like still like fairly young or were they like in
16, 17.
Okay, yeah.
Logan.
And-
I think Logan was in high
and
school.
I think that is the reason why Jake is the way he is, because when you are that age and you become a celebrity, you develop that type of money, you kind of don't develop that much as a person because you don't socialize the way a normal person does. You don't interact, like, so you kind of like you stop developing like to a certain extent, like once you find success at a young age, because you don't really get to
happens
mature.
So many young creators too, dude.
Yeah. To where
And
it's like,
it's sad to see.
yeah, like where they're like in their late 20s, almost 30s, and you still act like a fucking child. It's like, bro, like, did you like not develop in your late teenage years when you were supposed to and like become a young adult? No, they didn't. They just stayed the same way the fuck they were, and that's why they're like this annoying today.
I think it just plays off a character though, because I mean,
Well,
take
that's
someone
too.
like Corey Kenshin, right? Shout out to my boy Corey.
Yeah.
You guys can't ruin my immersion of Josh from
Wait,
Drake
how
and
old was
Josh.
he? How old? don't look.
Nah, bro. Like if you,
Drake was some shit,
I know,
dude.
I know that Corey's put out some videos talking about like how old like it's been since he's started and shit, and he showed like old videos or clips from old videos or whatever. I think homie was in high school. No, Jordan.
Yeah.
Or am I getting it twisted?
Yeah, when he had like the long like anime hair and shit.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it really just depends, bro, on like the environment, because the Pauls were well off. Like
Yeah.
their family had money already.
But like, see, Corey started around that time, but he didn't really find success until his early 20s. That's when like he
Yeah.
kind of took off. But even then, Corey's the type that he's like Dashy. He's a homebody. He stays like secluded, like at home, and he just plays games and records, and that's pretty much it. Like he don't really like. I mean, and the people he's around is typically good people. Whereas like
Yeah.
Logan and Jake, they probably surround themselves with all types of bullshit. It's just like
Yeah.
that's not that shit can like really manipulate the fuck out of you.
Yeah. I agree.
It definitely plays a big role, but you know, like you said, it all depends on like like a lot of it does play on character.
I just feel that it's unnecessary, bro, to to go down a route where you're just insufferable. That's I don't know.
Yeah. But speaking of suffering, we'll go ahead and segue into an interesting topic because I don't know if y'all heard, but Chris Rock finally spoke up about getting smack dap in the face. And my thing is everybody's like number one comment that they keep saying over and over that I'm seeing, at least in my opinion, in my eyes, is like, one, he's still mad at this. Like, this was like last year. Get the fuck over this shit. Like, which
Nah, they need to get smacked in the face.
which is because my thing is like, bro, if you got slapped at the Oscars, that shit would stay with you for a long, like, bro, I'm still fucked up from shit that happened like 5 to 6 years ago, bro. So don't sit here and tell me that you shouldn't be like mad at something that happened last year at one of the biggest, most worldwide televised events. So like, get the fuck out of here with that. And then two, they keep saying, well, why did he wait this long to say it? He should have said it like right there on stage. Like, did you not hear what he fucking said when he spoke up? He said like, why did I didn't say anything? He said, because I was fucking raised right. I have parents. Like, yeah, like, and like another thing that pisses me off, it's so easy for people to say what they would have done outside of the situation. Like, like they always say, well, if it was me, I would have did, but you're not on stage at the Oscars. You're not in front of like hundreds of celebrities, like with their eyes locked. Like, yeah, you would have fucking froze the same way he did, but he still handled it. Like, and the thing that cracks me up, you even heard him where he was like, boy, I could. He almost did. He almost said something, but he was like, you know what? Let me bite my tongue and just carry on. And I think I probably would have did the same shit too. But a part of me does like say like, well, if it would have been me, but like I said, I'm outside the situation. So I feel like everyone who is like kind of bashing Chris Rock, y'all kind of corny. Like, I'm still on Chris Rock's side, and I'm still while I do, you know, I'm still a fan of Will Smith's old movies. I'm still just kind of like, yeah, he on some fuck shit right now, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I don't think that what Chris said was like, I think he could have said more. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like, I think that for what he did say, he didn't elaborate on the right shit. Because when he mentioned, oh yeah, so you're gonna be okay with some guy fucking your wife and her bringing it up to you publicly, but me making a slight joke is what set you off. Like, no, get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was kind of like what he said, where he was like, I mean, what, because I'm smaller than him and shit, he's going to approach me like that? I get it, right? Like, it's a power trip or some shit is what he said, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
With that being said, I still feel like he could have went, he could have done it up a little bit more. Like, I would have mentioned, because it's one thing for him to go up there and be like, oh, you're a bitch, and that's it, right? I would have just been like, dude, have some fucking class, first and foremost. He could have addressed it a little bit better, I think, and not so much with just calling him a bitch, because, like it or not, I mean, he smacked the shit out of him, right? And he you know, you can't be calling someone a bitch if you're going to be quiet about it right then and there. I think he's very within his realm of saying something. And I understand the reasoning for him waiting so long, but even then, I feel like he could have just done a better job of addressing it in the first place.
Yeah,
I think it was important that he did point out, hey, you know, someone did get with your wife and you were okay with that, but let's not go there, right?
Yeah, I get you. Like, I'm just thinking,
had he done that to Dave Chappelle, Dave Chappelle would have ripped him a new asshole, bro. I'm sorry.
You know, good, because you know Dave Chappelle, you don't play that shit. And then on top of that, Dave Chappelle got security.
Yeah.
So he ain't gonna play that shit. But I just feel like it's one of those situations that it's just being just blown way too out of proportion. Because like if you go back to the original incident, it's like, bro, like
Chappelle would have swung back. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, but it's like if you go back to the original incident, it's like, bro, like for one, he didn't even say anything bad because I feel that all the people that were like going on internet and crying, like he shouldn't have made that joke about Jay. It's like y'all realize,
Nah.
but yeah, it's funny how people think alopecia is such a bad thing just because it has a scientific word on it. Like that's basically saying like, oh, like it's like temporarily like balding, but she wasn't even like really dealing with that because the next week she had like a full head of hair. So like, why was she so upset about the whole fucking comment anyway? I don't get it. Like this shit is just, the whole thing is just fucking stupid. Like
Yeah.
I don't even understand like why he took it that deep.
I don't know, bro. It's kind of goofy if I'm being real, but you know, let people think the way they want to think. I think personally, the fact that Will couldn't take that joke, it was very clearly a joke, and you could very much see that he was laughing at it. I don't know, man. That's corny. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If I could point to the actual moment where he said the joke and they pan to you and you're laughing, and then afterwards she looks at you and you do something, it'll make it look good for you.
Man. But I do think it's funny how Chris Rock ended. He is like, and my mom always taught me one thing: you never fight in front of white people. And I'm like, hey, yo, dead ass. I get the feeling my mom told me that at some point in my life too. I could be tripping, but I wouldn't be surprised if she did tell me that.
I mean, my grandma pretty much just told me it's not worth dealing with stupid people. That's as far as I can say with that, though.
Yeah, I get you on that.
But yeah, man, that whole scenario, I'm glad he said something because I think it's kind of wild if he was like NDA'd to not say anything or whatever. People were saying don't bring anything up. So it is good at the end of the day that he at least addressed it, because it is kind of shitty that he had to deal with that in the first place.
Yeah, because people who say like, oh, it took him this long. Well, if he wouldn't have said anything at all, y'all would have complained about that. So it's like he's damned if he do, damned if he don't. So I don't get what people just love to complain about anything. And the whole argument that like, oh, like this is still like being brought up, like I feel like we live in a day and age where people are just so hungry for new content that they feel like something that happened a year ago was old. It's like, that's not old, bro. Like it's kind of still relevant, but just because you live in a world where you're always on the internet and you're getting fed constant shit, it might be old to you because you've seen so much shit since then, but it's still fresh on some people's minds.
Yeah, no, I get you. Like, I think it is goofy that it's like, oh well, you're going real hard at this one thing last week, and I don't see you bringing it up at all for someone that seems so pressed for it. You know?
Yeah. Like
it's goofy.
Kind of unrelated, but similar. It's the same thing that pisses me off. Like when people say like, oh, you're still playing that game? That game is dead like a month after it came out. I'm like, just because you're not playing it, it's dead? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, this shit still has like a good 20,000 people. Like, you know how many people, like so many people say For Honor is a dead game till this day. I'm like, huh?
No, bro. If you haven't 100% of that shit, you don't even have the room to talk about that, you know?
Yeah. So it's like shit like that. People think stuff is burnt out or old just because they've moved on.
People are like that with music too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've actually met people who, you know, I'll put on some Bone Thugs or whatever, and they'll be like, "Oh, dude, that shit is old. Put on some new shit." I'm like,
bro, I stay slapping classics or like old shit, and I get people all the time like, "You listen to this old?" Like, bro, the fuck do you listen to? And they cut on some bullshit. I'm like, see, it's exactly why I don't play this shit in my car.
Yeah,
I play 1738, dude.
1738. Fucking dead, dude.
You play 1738 in my car, you go walk 17 or 38 steps to your destination. You ain't riding with me.
Oh my god. So actually, I have questions about Live now. Now that we bring this up,
Oh god.
do people like want to put their music on when you pick them up?
The only time that ever happens, and it's very rarely, is when I pick up some females like on a weekend night trying to go to a party or something. And because usually 99% of the time I play a mix of like oldies, lo-fi music, and instrumentals, and it's all like chill shit. And the reason why is because like when I first started, I would play just my own music, whatever the fuck I was into at the time. But I would always pick up like old senior citizens, like when is it? I guess so. I would always just like, you know what? I'm gonna just make a playlist that's neutral, that nobody will have a problem with. But the problem with it is that it's chill. So when I get females that want to go turn up and you do all that shit, they're always just like, why are you putting us to sleep? Put on some with bass. And then at that point, I just hand them the phone. Like, I don't even try to like type and drive. Like, I'll open Spotify. I'm like, look, here, play something. They'll usually put on like fucking Too Short or freaking, what's his name? Bad Bunny. I'm like, whatever.
Dude,
I'll be real. You're better than
I
me.
realized that Bad Bunny wasn't a girl; it was a dude.
Oh my god.
Bro, this is an inside joke that we have about my youngest brother looking like Bad Bunny.
Cause he fucking does.
I mean, it's not a bad dude to look like. He's hella popular.
No, I know, but it was mainly because we wanted to go see that Bullet Train movie, and we were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Hey, Bullet Train was fire though.
That shit was a really good movie. Actually, it was way better than I thought it was gonna be. Not that I even thought it was gonna be bad in the first place.
Like, have you been seeing those constant TikTok memes of like that scene where the black dude with the blonde hair and his white partner, like it's like a scene where like they find something and like they kind of back up and like look at each other, but everywhere on TikTok it's like a constant like meme of like that shit, and I don't know where the fuck it came from. Like, have y'all been seeing that shit?
No,
Okay, it just
no. I mean, my feed is weird on TikTok. Like, it's a lot of horror shit and guitar shit.
that's so weird how we can all be on TikTok but have like completely different worlds and experiences based off like shit we like and whatnot. Speaking of that though, I saw a dude, he had posted, he was like, hey, like, I don't know how to private my likes, so y'all leave me the fuck alone. just out of curiosity, I was like, all right, let me go and look. Tell me why this fool had like 1,000 liked videos, nothing but cheeks, and like everyone was commenting like, bro, you don't have one normal liked video, like not a single normal one. Like every single one was ass shaking. Like you could scroll for 10 minutes and not find a single normal liked video.
James, I need to see what's on your TikTok feed. I'm gonna need you to hand over the phone real quick.
You want to see it?
There's no way.
That was too confident. I don't know about that way. Well, since I can't pull up TikTok, I will speak on something that I saw on TikTok right before we started this podcast that I saw interesting enough to add to the notes. Apparently, Final Fantasy 16 is in some bullshit right now. Have you heard about the news, Andy?
No, I didn't. I mean, again, good thing James decided to make a guest appearance because he's really big on 14 right now too.
Okay, so apparently I don't know if the developer or the writer or somebody who has something to do with Final Fantasy 16 was asked a question, a very specific question as to either, I don't know if he asked why aren't there any black people in the game, or if he asked will there be any black people in the game. And this is one of those questions where
people were like fishing or whatever.
I mean, like, this is one of those questions where if you don't have a proper answer, maybe you should just shut the fuck up and not say anything, because the answer you might give might just end up fucking you over, if you just didn't give an answer at all. Because apparently his response to that was, Well, we want to tell a very accurate story compared to like the old, medieval times in Europe. And during that time, there wasn't any black people. So we want to keep it accurate.
In Europe?
What the fuck?
That's not easy.
That was his response to that he wanted to keep it accurate to medieval Europe. And due to that, they decided to not include any black people.
Also, if they want to follow that same logic, there are technically no Asians either.
I mean,
True. I mean,
because they were out there schmurdering Asians for their gunpowder. If they want to get real technical about history,
yeah.
that's so fucking stupid. Oh,
I mean,
racist.
I wasn't necessarily hyped for Final Fantasy 16. I mean, I thought it looked cool. They were kind of leaning more into the crazy Devil May Cry style combat, but here's the thing. I'm fine with them not having black. If you don't want to have black characters in your game, that's fine. But when you come up with a bullshit reason like that, it's just like, all right. And then on top of that, bro, the name of your fucking game is called Final Fantasy. Fantasy. And you're talking about you want to be accurate to some bullshit, then get rid of the second fucking name in your game then, if that's the fucking case. I don't get it.
It makes no goddamn sense.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like to be honest, yeah, that's a fucking stupid way about going about that question. But on top of that too,
shout out Duke for the sub.
why are people stuck on that as a question, right? Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yoshi P deserves better. All I gotta say.
Like, if I had a chance to ask a question to a game dev, that's not the first thing that comes to my mind. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Okay, but here's another interesting thing, James. Speaking of Yoshi P, he was also asked a question. I'm not sure the exact question he was asked, but in the question, someone referenced the game as a JRPG, and he brought up like the fact that he always found it weird that they would separate, JRPGs. Basically, the fact he said that the fact that they called it JRPGs was kind of like an insult because like what's so different about our games that you feel the need to like separate it. And it kind of started this whole debate to where people were like, well, there is an obvious difference between the two. That's why we label them different. But
oh yeah, no, dude.
But like I found it interesting that he saw like an insult to like that they label it that way.
And then turns around and says,
yeah. Well, yeah. I'm kind of waiting for him to finish the sentence, dog.
Isn't he the one, or was it him that said it, or was it a developer that said
okay, let's pull this up because I know for a fact Yoshi P said the JRPG shit, but let me see who pulled up.
Okay, that's why I thought you had mentioned it because that's why I was like, was he the one that said it?
Let me look this up. Oh, no. Okay, so no, he said it too. It was it says Yoshida's response to Final Fantasy 16's lack of diversity.
Okay, yeah, you can't be upset about one racial thing and then be surprised when somebody else is upset about a racial thing you say.
Yeah, I don't.
You can't. It was two-way street, bud.
Yeah, no. See, like under that
now that we're
context,
on
that's
fantasy
definitely
games.
fucking crazy.
On like a lot of fantasy games, the fucking character customizations suck, dude.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
for me especially. It's like, look, if I was forced to consistently only
Except for
play
Dragon's Dogma, like that is
just
great.
either a white female protagonist or white male protagonist, I'd be a little sick of it too. I'd ask like, hey, am I ever gonna get an actual customization feature? Are there gonna be characters or an option for a character of color in this series at all, or no?
Because my favorite part about fantasy games, I spend an hour making my character. I'm like, all right, let's go, and then I just suck at the game. You know what I mean?
You mean you make them look like Jerkuelyn?
You-
If anyone
Oh,
has seen
Lord.
us play fucking Elden Ring. Oh my god.
on,
You cannot tell me this Jerkuelyn did not look like the most cursed shit you've ever
Like
seen in your life.
till this day, I kind of regret fumbling like making like an edited playthrough of that because like that whole his character in that shit was fucking hysterical.
Every time we killed a boss, it's like we already knew. We already knew it was some stupid ass piece of armor.
Yeah, if we picked up any armor, we just like, all right, I know what's coming next. Like the second you would see Nemo stop moving for like a few seconds, I'm like, I already know he's in the menus, like equipping some shit.
Let's be honest though.
Oh my god.
We're gonna be doing the DLC. Like, can we actually do this shit on Seamless Co-op, or is
Yeah.
it gonna be like bugged like
Yeah.
day one?
Well, but we would
Nah.
have to wait for them to update the mod for it to be compatible with DLC, but they'll definitely update that shit.
All right, so you
Yeah,
guys want us to just, like do solo run the like gameplays, and then
Nah, bro. I got no problem waiting until they have the seamless co-op if you guys want to like fresh run that shit all together.
I wouldn't mind doing a fresh playthrough on co-op.
all right.
That's what it is.
My question is, would we have to? Do we have to make new characters and prep them for that?
No,
Or-
we would probably
we
just
might have to.
started. We would probably just be able to do it on our main characters that we had like on the very first playthrough.
Because like I'm not customizing. Like it's gonna be the same character.
Well, okay. Let me preface this. Since that shit was a randomized run, do we have to redo it with normal shit? So
Well,
we can-
that randomized run is pretty much like fucked.
yeah.
We can't.
So I mean, so we are gonna have to
We can't
redo it, right? Is
yeah,
what
no,
I'm hearing.
we can redo a fucking whole like regular one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It shouldn't
'cause
take that long, honestly.
Well, yeah,
We
like
play
that.
that shit so much that we know where to go.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
for real. So we could just like do one and like in preparation for the DLC, so that way by the time the DLC comes out, we've already like beaten the game on a new character and like is and like pretty much ready for it.
Yeah, might as well take Jaqi through it too, so she can actually finish the
Yeah.
fucking game.
Because you guys have an experience from software DLC, but most likely they always intend for it to be tackled after like the end of the game, so that way like
Yeah,
you have a pretty beefed up character.
yeah, that's what I figured. Like, I didn't think it'd be like, oh, you gotta start a fresh character and then go from
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
I figured it was.
Like for me, I always hate when like games drop DLC, but it's like, oh, like you're supposed to do it like in the middle of the story or this one. It's like don't drop it like after the game came out then.
Yeah, if it came out after the fucking the game was released, I expect it to be post game.
Yeah, because that was the biggest issue with Final Fantasy 15, because like they essentially fixed a lot of the plot holes with the DLC where you play as like Gladio and Ignis and Prompto, but their chapters take place like in the middle of the story, so it's like it's kind of lame like having to see where they fit.
Yeah.
I don't know what the
I ain't gonna lie though,
fuck
like
is-
I've been wanting to play like Final Fantasy games. That there's so much, and I kind of don't want to like try to catch up on the fucking story. 'Cause I know
Nah,
each of 'em have
dude.
their own story.
They're all
I'm telling you right
individual.
now, if you play the 7 remake, that shit is just a good story.
Yeah, but the thing about the games is that none of the stories are connected. They're all
Yeah.
they're each story. So like Final Fantasy 6 story has nothing to do with Final Fantasy 7 story.
Alright.
Yeah, so yeah, you're not missing out on story context. So that's
I
what you're
thought they
talking
were
about.
all like connected.
No,
No.
the only time you'll see one that's connected is like if they make like a Final Fantasy 7 but with a different subtitle, then that one's still connected to the Final Fantasy 7 universe. But if they put a whole different number on
Pokemon.
it, kinda. But it's basically whenever you see a whole new number on it, that story is like completely separate. They might have like similarities. Like in each game, the summon is always going to be like Bahamut and Ifrit and shit like that, but they always look different in each game type shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because like that was my one thing. I was like, I don't want to like buy all those games, you know?
No, dude, you don't got to do that. That's why I was saying that like 15 is kind of cool after going through 7 because
Yeah.
it is crazy seeing like the difference between a character like Cloud and then Noctis.
Yo, Cloud was about it, dude.
No,
Nah.
yeah, he 100%, bro.
But I think 15 was the first one I played and beat from start to finish. And then when you boot up 15, the very first thing you see is it says a perfect Final Fantasy game for fans and first timers.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like that's the way I'd go about saying the 7 remake did it, because going from actually going through like the OG, because I wanted to try to see if they lined up right.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, yeah, the characters, I feel like definitely did a lot of justice with them and shit going into it. But a lot of the things that I didn't like about the original, they addressed a lot in the remake. Like, dude, it is such a bitch having to be on a very specific tile and press a button at a specific frame in order to get an action to go off, and that pissed me off so much playing the original.
Yeah.
But with the remake, it's a lot of quality of life things. It's like the difference between playing OG Resident Evil 2 and then Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah. And the thing.
Okay, so go for it.
Well, I was gonna say Final Fantasy VII Remake is a special case because that is something that pleases like people who are fans of the OG and like people who are playing it for the first time, because they kind of pull a twist at the end. So people who are fans of like the OG, they kind of got to surprise themselves because they were just expecting a one for one remake, and then people who are playing it for the first time, they're just getting something new in general. So
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm just saying that, like, if that was anybody's concern at all, I would say personally, as someone that's done a lot of the Resident Evil shit and then played the remakes, playing Resident Evil 7 or not Resident, goddamn, Final Fantasy 7 remake is a lot like just blind never playing Resident Evil in your life and then playing Resident Evil 2. It's an enjoyable experience, I will say.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree with people like talking shit about remakes? Because like I personally really like a lot. Like I really like Resident Evil 2, specifically 3 remake.
Well, I thought he was gonna say I really like talking shit about remakes.
No. I honestly, because look, Resident Evil 2, I tried playing it back then with Andy and Albert, and I honestly didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was a fucking dumb little kid, and the one thing that fucking gets me trying to play those games like now is just the fucking the camera angles. I hate it.
Yeah, no,
Like,
and that's what I'm trying to get
3,
at.
I was like, oh my god, this shit. Like, I know it's like it's not really a horror game no more. Like, it's more of an action game. But I'm like, it's fun. you know?
Yeah, no, that's okay sometimes though, is what people don't understand. Like, you don't have to have it be the old way where the fixed camera angles are like the central plot point, because you can't tell me that they didn't design those games and go, okay, you can only see down this specific angle, so if you had to fight multiple targets, you're kind of fucked,
It
right?
sucked like back then when you had limited ammo.
Yeah.
So you missed a shot. Fuck.
No, yeah, and I mean, like, the biggest thing that I didn't touch on when I was streaming Resident Evil 4 remake the other day was I didn't feel like the camera was weird to move around. Like, it seemed very smooth, and I know that it's not something that I addressed, but it's one of those things where, like, I didn't have to outright say it because it wasn't like it felt alien or foreign. You get what I'm saying? It felt right. It felt right the way they did it.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to get at is just certain things like that definitely make a difference, and the remakes that have come out as of late are doing those adjustments that maybe weren't super common before, but are definitely like needed, I would say. Definitely appreciated now.
Yeah, I've spoken about it before. As long as the game has like it basically, if the game hasn't like aged good, then yeah, it deserves a remake. But anything that came out like a few years back, like this whole like some such and such edition, like what's the latest one coming out right now? I think it's The Outer Worlds. It's like The Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition. It's like, that's cool and all, but that shit came out like a few years ago and it still looks fine. Y'all don't need to be remastering shit like that. But like Nemo said, Resident Evil series, the old ones had tank controls, fixed camera angles, stuff like that is dated to certain people nowadays. So it's good when you revamp the game and make it feel fresh for like people who had a problem with it back then, but you also still incorporate a lot of charm for people who were also still fans of that original version as well.
Yeah, I feel like that. There's definitely still a way to make those games a horror game. I don't think the camera angles is what's a make or break. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, is it that time that we get into that topic, because there is a recent demo that just dropped. And
What I was
Yeah,
just
and
talking
tell us how
about?
you feel.
but that does a good like what you just said. They did an excellent job in the RE4 like remake and demo of making like certain elements like more scarier.
Yeah, no, definitely, dude. I think it's actually really cool that they made a play on making it seem more tactful too. Like you don't feel like you're the same Leon that's in Raccoon City, right? He didn't get the Krauser gorilla training for all the sneaking bullshit, right?
The
But in this
second I
game,
saw you could parry that fucking chainsaw, I was hyped, dude.
he grew some hair on his chest that day, boys.
Dude, I remember getting pinched on the stairs
Yeah.
on Mercenaries, man. Oh my fucking god, that shit used to be terrifying. I ain't scared no more.
I mean, I think they just did so much cool shit with it. Like, I can go on and on and
looks
on.
so good. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't look realistic, but it looks good. You know
bro,
what I mean?
I don't want my games to look realistic. I'll
No,
be real
like,
with you.
like, I
I
don't
want good textures, but I don't want it to look like I just looked outside, because I could just look outside if I wanted no kind of
after
like
playing
fantasy.
PUBG and how they try to keep it realistic, and then they didn't ban not streamers, cheaters.
Yeah,
I'm fine with this. Like it's a game. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, but
being said.
games that usually tend to go for a realistic approach, they don't tend to age all that well. It's mainly the ones
No.
that go for a good art style.
And like the realistic games, like I'll go back to PUBG because like that was like what everyone kept saying. Oh, it's a realistic game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was fun until they started. What made it fun was just the proxy chat. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the second they started like keeping everyone muted early on, it died down.
I mean, just take Call of Duty, right? Like they made Vanguard to like, oh, this is realistic combat or whatever, and it sucked dick because of the fact that in real life, one grenade will kill you, right? Like that makes sense. But if I spawn in, and every 10 seconds that I spawn in, I'm dying to another grenade, I'm sorry, I'm cutting that shit off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! I hated Vanguard's system where like if you tried to change your loadout
Yeah.
and someone hit a button, you can't change your fucking loadout. It takes you back to the home menu.
Yeah, that was fucking dumb. There's a lot of bad things. about it.
Jaqi,
What happened?
oh my fucking god! Every time we played Vanguard, she's like, "Who's hitting a button? Who's moving? I'm like, I'm trying to make my loadout." She goes, "Stop!"
Yeah, because we're trying to load into a fucking game, and it's already been established if you do fucking anything,
You breathe.
and it will not fucking load you into a game. And this motherfucker is over here doing everything.
And it was like, I paid for the whole game. I'm doing everything with the game, bro.
And it was still shit. Paid full price for that fucking game, and it was still shit.
Yeah.
God,
No, I'm not defending it at all. I'm just saying, like, that's funny.
I need to move my fucking whole desk
Yeah.
setup, man.
I mean,
Why?
Nettie's been trying to grab the mic.
Oh, she's trying to talk to the people, bro. That's all she's trying to do.
gonna do is like, all right, so she does this
She's
thing
trying to
where
say
like,
help.
yes, she'll pick up the fucking mic because she hears you guys, and I don't know why, but she likes to go help, and I'm like, dude, stop. I'm like, I don't want people thinking.
is there a reason she wants to say that, Nemo?
She's eating a fucking graham cracker.
Is there something you're not telling us? What's in the graham cracker?
Let me get her. Mama, can you say it's all good? She's too far. All right.
She just fucking says help.
Oh, this
Anyway, I'm holding the mic right now. All right.
That's
Yeah, no,
funny.
Nemo was telling me that one night we all got off and that she grabbed the mic because he was playing Pokemon. She goes, help, help. And Nemo was like, who are you talking to? And she goes, Uncle.
Oh my god. Like help with
her.
what?
I don't know,
fucking
bro.
know. She won't tell me.
Pokemon. Yeah.
She wants help escaping.
That's hilarious because that can mean so many things.
I know. That sounds so fucking bad.
It
Take
fucking
that
does.
shit
If
out
she
of
says does that shit like on stream or anything, I'm done. All right.
Immediately end stream.
I'm
no
reporting you.
hesitation.
Oh my
I'm
Child
reporting
god.
right
Protective
now.
Services will be here right now. All right.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
Jordan, have you seen the news recently for our town?
For what?
For our town, like have you seen the Kia Soul challenge?
No, I have not.
Oh my fucking god! So on TikTok, there's a whole fucking like it literally says Grand Theft Auto, right?
Mhm.
Apparently for Hyundais and Kias, you can break into them, and to hotwire them, all you need is a fucking USB. And for like all of last week, because I was talking to Andy and our cousin Pato, teenagers in our town were getting arrested for doing that shit left and right. I think if I had the total was like eight teenagers breaking
Yeah.
into cars, taking them for joyrides, and then crashing them.
Yeah, that's kind of wild, bro. I won't lie. We live in a day and age where that's just unfortunately how
And
that shit goes.
the crazy part, it was last month when that shit was like going rampant, like around I think Florida and on the that's the West Coast, right? Or that's the East Coast.
Mhm.
Um, I think it was Kia, or I can't remember which one. If it was Kia or Hyundai, they said, "Oh yeah, if you guys come to bring your car back to the dealership and pay $400, we will update your firmware so they can't do that. So it's not as difficult to do that.
It's not as difficult. You mean not
Yes.
as easy to do that?
Not as easy. All right,
No, not as
And-
difficult.
is that what they said?
No, I'm just saying.
Okay, I was gonna say they said that shit. Their stocks started to drop, and now it's free. So this is take your car in and fucking do that shit.
As it should be. The fuck.
It should
Man.
have been like the second that challenge got like widespread, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, in our town, dude, like 8 fucking teenagers got caught. I think one of them crashed into a policeman, well, no, a police car.
But
was like,
it's one of
dude.
those things. It's like the problem is on both ends. Like the problem is on just like the technology failing. Like I get it, they wanted to like do something simple, but it just allows for people to steal your shit easily. But the problem is also just with the fucking teenagers. Like, why?
Very bad.
Get a fucking life, bro. What you doing taking people's cars for a joyride? Like, I feel like we had way more ideas and shit to have fun when we were kids, besides stealing people's cars. But I feel like
Yeah, no, for real.
I feel like motherfuckers now are just on some weird shit. Like we talked about it last podcast, how like that whole era with the Boo Gang shit and how that just fucked the whole shit up. But I don't know, without sounding too much like an old head, I don't even know if I can make this statement without sounding like that. But do y'all feel like when it comes to the younger generation, like the majority of them is just lost, or do you feel like that whole argument is kind of blown out of proportion?
I think it
honestly
kind
don't
of.
know.
I think it kind of is, bro. But I want to say it's not.
Because we have a cousin
I-
who's
I don't
been
wanna
going through
say
some shit.
Well, yeah, but see, like that's the thing though. Like he's just trying to be a fucking rebel, and that's not smart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it doesn't help you look more independent and mature. Yeah. But I want to say it comes down to kind of like parenting, dude. I don't know. Like
That,
it-
yeah,
it's
definitely.
to me it's not so much as like, oh man, these kids are fucked. It's goddamn who lets so many people our age have so many kids.
Yeah.
goddamn,
Yeah.
Clearly none of these parents grew up and now their kids are like, what I've seen is a pattern of like the kids being the best friends of their parents and the parents having just
Oh,
as bad of an
yeah.
attitude. and that's what starts it. Because me and my mom have
Yeah.
had this conversation too about seeing like comparisons to people that she knows that has kids, and then comparisons to people I grew up with who she's met the parents of. And then even having a talk with me about like, look, I'm not your friend. I'm your fucking mother and you're going to treat me as such. We
Mhm.
can have a cool time, but I'm still your mother. And so we had a conversation about how like, yeah, lately it's one of those things where the parents that never fucking grew up and then got stuck with having a kid and were forced to grow up saw their kid dependently as a friend, and now they both are just as immature because
Not
neither
me.
of
I
them
didn't
know
have
how
a
to grow
relationship
up.
with my mom.
Do you see the fucking point, Nemo?
Yeah.
I do taxes.
I'd have
alright?
fucking beat you. Oh my god.
No, my bad. I had to break the tension. Alright.
But nah, but
No,
that
There was no tension! It was just a conversation! Oh my
There's
god!
tension now. Eh?
Cause-
oh
I'ma put
Lord,
tension.
Nemo, stop
Beat your ass.
winding
Don't put me
winding
through
her
one,
up.
please. Like, I-
Fuck.
Cause you know what gets me is that when I hear old people saying, "Man, yeah, this younger generation's fucking everything," like, bro, no,
Who raised
you
them?
guys voted for stupid shit, and it's
Yeah.
coming into effect now. So the more you guys vote on dumb shit, the more I gotta deal with it before you guys kick the fucking can, bro.
That's why I blame the hippies, dude.
What are you talking about, the hippies?
Nemo! Oh my
It was
fucking
so-
god. Go on.
You know, I'm gonna
Say-
let Nemo take over
so
the
on.
conversation. Go
In
for
case
it.
yeah, in
Let's
case
see
you
how
don't
this
know,
goes.
Nemo is the youngest, and this speaks volumes.
No, that's like shit posting. All right.
It's not. So you're
no,
fucking speaking. You're.
Yeah.
It comes to down to the point that Ice has made. Some people just shouldn't have a voice. All right. Mic
You
drop.
know what? Yeah, damn right.
Coming from the guy who's talking.
Oh no! Did he get put in timeout?
Dear
I think he did.
fucking Lord.
But yeah, I don't know, dude. I feel like it's a lot of dumb shit. I don't think it's necessarily the young kids don't know shit. I think they just don't have the right kind of.
Oh wait, my bad.
What?
I was having fun. My bad.
My ears,
Man.
Jesus.
I apologize. I
Christ.
thought I was gonna be there longer. All right.
What do you? I don't even know what to say, bro. I won't even lie to you.
But yeah,
I was
no,
speechless.
when they say this younger generation, it's always like they should be looking at who raised the generation.
Yeah,
No one wants. Everyone likes to point fingers. No one wants to take the blame.
yeah,
And even then, because when I think about it, I'm especially in that statement coming from you as a father, I'm gonna think of it's not just like the generation that raised them, because you clearly are a fucking dumbass, but you know how to separate how to be a parent and how to be a person.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I mean. It's also onto that.
Talking about that. Oh man, like I was talking to Andy about this. It's probably just like the news spreading out around like scary
I don't
shit.
think you want to go. I don't think you want to go into
It's
this
just-
topic.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bring it up. It's just like I think it also like hits a lot of parents too. So like they also raise their kids like wrong out of fear.
Yeah.
Am I
Yeah.
making sense?
No, I get what you're saying, but mainly because I understand where it's coming from.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, it still falls onto clearly the parent is still too immature and therefore is raising the child in an immature way and then doesn't care to correct it when they are corrected. It just becomes an ego battle when they're corrected.
Yeah,
I know
I
that for a
think it
fact.
has to do with respect.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I saw Albert Bench. I respected that.
But no, like Jaqi kind of hit the nail on the head because that was the main thing I used to see all the time when I worked for schools is you would deal with a kid who's just stubborn as fuck. And then you're like, all right, the only way to really deal with this is to call in the parent and talk to them. And then the parent comes walking in and it's just, a 20-year-old, the same version, but just 20 years older. Or probably even less than that. And you're just like, all right, like I see exactly where they get it from. And I say constantly, I see too many like moms that are like best friends with their daughters and they're like they go out like to clubs with them. It's like, is she your daughter or your sister, bro? Like y'all fit the same outfits. And then like you hear all these situations where like the daughter will like bring like a guy home, but then like the guy starts fooling with the mom too or some weird shit. It's like because the age gap is not that far apart, so that's why shit like that is happening.
I had a student once who was. It was actually one of our coworkers' children. What the fuck was her name? Because when I got moved from Stella Hills and I got moved to Frank West, one of the kids that got put into my class was one of our coworkers' daughters. And I was like, oh my God, how cool. All right, cool. Well, if anything happens, you're the first person to know. And she was like, yeah, let me know. I'll keep it in check. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, the dad was the one that was coming to get her all the time. And this girl was, oh my fucking God, a problem. And the dad would come get her, and every day, every other day, it'd be something new where I was like, hey, I'm sorry that I have to let you know, but they told me to let you know that she did this today. If you'd like to have a conversation about it, you can speak to so and so. And it was something new every day because she was just not ever cooperating, or she was doing her own thing, or she was arguing with other kids. I try not to argue with the kids myself, but even then she would try, and I'd be like, no, just sit over there. I will just speak to your parents later. Go sit. I'm not dealing with this. And there was one time when the dad had come to pick her up, and he was like, well, maybe she just doesn't like you. And I was like, that's not the fucking point. If your child is like causing a fucking problem, it does not matter if your kid, I don't give a shit if your kid likes me or not. Technically, your kid shouldn't like me, but your kid needs to fucking behave.
Valid. She just didn't like you.
She wasn't fucking with your vibes.
Rancid. Listen, I'm joking.
That's why I'm just like, why'd y'all even say anything? Because I would have just shut the fuck up. Y'all know how Jaqi is.
Yeah, I'll say that for later.
Do it.
Huh?
Oh dear
What?
Lord. Congratulations.
Oh man.
Y'all broke Jaqi.
Broke her.
Oh, okay. I thought I got kicked again. I was about to say like, yo, I didn't say shit this time.
Jesus Christ, man. I think she want to go get something to drink, so it is what it is. But
I wanted to really go over the RE4 demo, but we kind of just skimmed over that shit.
Oh yeah, no, we could
that shit
retouch
looks
on that.
fucking great, man.
But I really wanted to talk about like one thing I really noticed is like they went so hard on animations because I don't even think you realize in the settings, because I was telling you like the PC settings are like they have shit I haven't even seen in other games. They had like where you can turn on or off like if enemies have unique animations, so like the male characters move different from the female characters. I'm like, what the fuck? Like I've never seen that PC setting like in any game before. And then also like I noticed with Leon where he would go for kicks, like where you like shoot him in the head. There's like 7 different animations for the kick. He doesn't do the same kick every single time. Like sometimes he'll kick low, sometimes he'll kick high. So I'm just like the attention to detail. I kind of see what they meant to where they're like, we can't really change much. We're just gonna keep the game the same and just add upon that and just make it. That's literally what it feels like. It's just like the base game, but just, you know, it went from a 10, they just cranked it up to 20.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not like it was a bad game. It's not like a whole lot that you gotta change.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I think it's a good addition. Is the way I put it, because it don't feel like a new game, but it also doesn't feel like they're just copy pasting shit. And I mean that'd be the lazy way to go about it. But
yeah,
when you have a good foundation, that's the best way to go. Is just let's enhance the things that we didn't necessarily implement, like the training he got with Krauser and shit like that. Because all we knew in 4 is that, oh, he's that guy. He got special training and that's it. But we didn't really get to see much of it other than just, I want to say the stuff that had to do with Krauser, really, because everything else was still shit he was doing in RE2, you know?
Yeah. I feel like another thing that really impressed me, because I think this is more of a problem with the older game, because you can kind of like finesse the enemy AI, because the problem with like older AI it kind of becomes a little bit predictable. So like you can kind of like get toward a villager and make them swing their axe and like back up, and like it's easy to tell how animations are going to play out in the old school version. Whereas with this one, they actually move and do shit like way more like fluid and more human like. So when I got surrounded by enemies, I couldn't just like, all right, let me just run out of it and like try to dodge. Like, nah, when you get surrounded, you're kind of fucked because they don't just wait to attack you one by one. They don't just move like a very robotic way. They'll all swarm you. They'll gang up on you. They'll jump the fuck out of you. So I feel like that's like a very dope detail too.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But
I like it, man. I think there's so much good that they did with it. They did that shit justice and a half.
well, of course you like it, because in case y'all don't know, Andy has an extreme bias toward anything Leon related. Nah, I will say, this man kicked a zombie in the head and then immediately paused the game and said, "Fuck Ragnarok." I don't know how those two things relate to each other. I don't know how it led to that, but I just want to say that that's what happened. He kicked a dude and immediately paused and said, "Fuck Ragnarok." Keep in mind, a game he's never played.
I've seen some. You can't say I didn't pop in your stream while you were playing it, right?
Nah. I don't want to hear none of that.
Major plot points, no. But I mean, I was saying like that kick was a lot cooler than some of the shit I saw him do. Don't get me wrong, Kratos is disrespectful. Like that whole fight he has with what's his name? The guy that can't feel pain. I forgot his name. Baldur, yeah, that shit was cool. That shit was dope.
Yeah, but now I'm not saying that like God of War or Ragnarok in general is better than like RE4. I'm just saying like
I know what you're getting at.
I'm saying that was a wild leap. Like I'm just like, damn, like what did Ragnarok do? Like
No, yeah. I was just going crazy. I won't lie.
No, I feel it, but I do hate people like that where they're like, just because a good game comes out, like as much as I fuck with Dante, he kind of did that with God of War Ragnarok, where he was like, oh, this game is so fire, fuck everything else. Like this is the only good game that exists. He was like, Elden Ring ain't shit. This is game of the year. Like he was calling Ragnarok game of the year before he even played it. So I'm like, I hate when people have that mentality when something good comes out, they're like, all right, fuck everything else. This is the only good thing out right now. It's like, why can't games, like, why can't Elden Ring be a 10 out of 10, Ragnarok be a 10 out of 10, and this be a 10 out of 10? Like, why does one have to eliminate the other?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Like I said, I was just being goofy with it because
yeah, I know you were, but I'm just saying, like, some people really like take that shit to heart. They're like, oh, like there can't be two good games that exist. Like one has to be like the alpha.
Oh man, though, but I'm so glad for a second. Maybe you can elaborate on this too, but I had a real thing that came up right after I played that, and I was like, fuck, did I hold myself out of an experience? You get what I'm saying?
Well,
like I was really stuck on that for a second. I was like, fuck, dude, this is like a good chunk of the game that I got to play. I was happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I really sat there and I was like, fuck, dude, did I kill some of my does this make me more hype for the game, or does this make it seem more normal to me now when I play it? You know what I'm saying?
I think it'll feel normal for that one little part, but then once you get past that, it'll go right back to the hype. But who's to say? I mean, I don't think they're gonna change anything drastically, and if they do, it'll be very minor. But they might make it a little bit different. But I think it's a little bit of both. Like, it's kind of similar to how I felt when I saw the latest trailer, the one I told you to not watch. Because right after I got done, I was like, damn, like, am I hyped or am I pissed? Because, like, I'm hyped because what they showed was, like, fire, but I'm pissed because I kind of would have preferred to, like, you know, find that out by
Experience
find that out by playing the game.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a mixed bag, and I was like, but I think I came to the conclusion that it definitely did make me more hyped to play it, and I think due to the fact that it's a remake and it's a game that like it's technically existed before, I'm not too upset about things getting spoiled. Not that I want things to get spoiled, but it just if it does happen, I'm not gonna like get too mad about it because it's Resident Evil 4. Like we know what happens, we know what plays out. But like you said, it would be nice to experience everything like fresh.
I will say that it did answer something that I really wanted to get the feel for, which is how is Leon going to be in this game? Because I mean I was going to say as we know, but you haven't played like the original RE2.
No.
He's a lot different in RE2 remake than he is in the OG. And it's not even like that's a bad thing. I feel like in the first version of that game, the original, they didn't really give him much personality. Like he very much just was. He was just like a guy that got caught off guard with everything,
Mm-hmm.
right? But with this one, you can kind of get how green he was, and how good he is, right? Because like he didn't do some normal shit. Like all the other officers in that building were dead.
Yeah.
So you kind of get the gist of like, wow, this dude's actually kind of cracked, man. He's got some natural ability. Not on anything like where he's like, oh, it's like Dante from DMC, who's the one that they model him after or whatever. They just gave him personality, and it wasn't like bad personality, especially when you get to bosses. His reaction to shit is like, you gotta be fucking joking, right?
Yeah.
They really humanized them, and that's what I like the most, because I was like, yeah, no, in that situation, I'd be the same way. I'd be like, man, what the fuck?
And the best part though is they're not doing what Marvel does. It goes, oh, let's do like a quick little like witty one liner right here.
Well,
You know what I mean?
that's what I'm getting at, because RE4, anybody that's played
Yeah.
RE4, the original, listen, you can say it's either corny to have the one-liners that Leon had, or you can say that shit was just it added to like a swagger that he has.
No, the OG RE4 definitely has a lot of, I guess you call them quote unquote like corny like lines or like, but that's what made it so enjoyable, is because like the game didn't take itself too seriously. It was kind of just like there to just like have fun, even though it's in like this horror filled castle or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But that's what people were genuinely worried about going into this remake, was how were they going to treat Leon's character, because in the OG, he's like your typical American cowboy that's like, kind of action, gung-ho superhero that can do all these like flips and dips under lasers and shit. But when you look at how he is in the RE2 remake, he's a lot more like grounded and like down to earth. And in 4, they're basically just building off of that, like kind of giving him like, PTSD from all the shit that happened in 2, and like he's like dealing with that, like the whole like car ride on the way to the village, like he just has this look like, fuck, like I'm still just like fucked up from that shit that happened, like I'm just here like to continue on.
I think what it is, because that's a good that's kind of like what I'm getting at. I think that they did pretty good about how they're addressing him going forward into the games, because if anybody has seen like the Netflix like 4-episode thing they did for Leon, or even any of the animated movies for Resident Evil, that Leon is a lot like the Leon we're getting here, and I like that they're
Yeah.
doing that, because it just kind of legitimizes those movies even more. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
Because in a bunch of them, he's very well trained. You can tell like a lot of the training comes through with all the shit he does. He's not like the RE4 Leon, and it's not like that was like a bad thing to begin with, right? But um it kind of just adds on to this is a character that's quick on their feet. They can adapt to the situation, and that's just natural like survival instincts kicking in. You get what I'm saying? But now it's he has formal training to go with it.
Yeah.
Um I like the direction they're going with them, even if they don't have all the witty one-liners. Like they still have the bingo line, right?
Yeah, so
But
some are still there. They're not all gone.
yeah, I just think that the way he's addressing it, they kind of lost the swagger, but they brought in more of like a seasoned character. You get what I'm saying?
Because I think he even says the line, if you shoot the lantern and like set the barn on fire with the cow, he says like, oh, like I'll pay for the repairs later or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like when I was like, okay, like they still have some in there. Like he's not completely like, you know, tone deaf or like, you know, just a bore. Like he still has like quirky lines and shit.
Yeah, I think that they did do a good job of bringing in the trauma, like you were saying, but I don't think it's necessarily like he's traumatized as he's like, dude, this is an unreal situation, and it's crazy that I'm the one that's constantly in the middle of it.
Yeah. It's more like the lines of like, when is this shit gonna end, man? Like
Yeah, yeah, dude, because that 100% that's how he is in the movies. Like there's one that has Chris and Rebecca, right? And when they find him, like, you know, some people were like, "Oh man, I didn't like how Leon was there," but
Wait,
the
is that the movie where they find him and he's like being an asshole? He's like all drunk and shit. Like he's like at a coffee shop or something.
yeah, because he's on vacation.
Yeah. I saw that not too long ago. Like I think it's probably like maybe 2 months ago.
That movie is great.
Yeah, bro. Like if you saw how it started, especially because they started off with showing like where the three of them are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know Leon's off some bullshit where he's having to do what he does, which is deal with all this zombie bullshit. So when you see him in the bar, he's kind of like, dude, this is my fucking day off. Like let me
Yeah.
let me chill. And I'm like, I mean, dude, I don't even blame him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the world's going to shit either way, it don't mean that you like. It's kind of human, right? Like, the way I would look at it is, I'd want a fucking break too. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Daddy. Let him chill, bro. Let him fucking breathe, cause it's not like Rebecca didn't have an era of peace in that movie, and same thing with Chris. It's not like he didn't get to kick back a little bit too, like. I would recommend watching that movie. I won't give away too much. It's just it is kind of interesting how they went about showing off like at the end of the day, yeah, these people do crazy shit, but they're still people.
But yeah, speaking of that, I don't know the source. I didn't hear, but I was watching Max's stream. He was talking to Simmons. Apparently, the Capcom devs said they have no intention of remaking Zero or Code Veronica. So rip for that.
Yeah, that's a missed opportunity, but I mean, if they don't do that and release, like, if 9 comes out and that shit is a banger, I'm not pressed about that either.
Yeah. But
You know?
I don't understand the argument though that, oh, like they're bad games, so they don't need a remake. Well, if they remade them, they wouldn't be bad. They would take what's bad about that game and fix it, and then the remake
Nah,
would
bro.
like. Is it that bad to where they can't fix it?
No, yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, dude, they weren't even bad games. Like, if you want to be completely honest with it, those games are the reason you know the franchise. So don't pretend like you didn't like the story. Shut up.
Holy hell. But I don't know. I just feel like it would make more sense to remaster or remake the games that like people have kind of skipped over, because everyone's played 4 and 5 and 6. So if they just go that route and just remake all the chronological numbers, I mean, hell, it'll make money, but I would much prefer to see like play games that I missed out on type shit.
Yeah, dude. And to be honest, it's I hate to be the guy that fucking has to say it to companies that make a fuck ton of money, but if you took a game that you probably didn't have a lot of people play and you have a lot of eyes on you now, why wouldn't you want to remake a game that you already have a story fleshed out and everything for. You can do a couple changes. I mean, it's what you did with 2. Let's be real. And get some money out of that. Like, why not capitalize on that shit? It's the same thing I say about or that I was saying for the longest time about Nintendo bitching about their games being played on emulators,
Yeah.
right? And I was like, well, why don't you just let me download Pokemon Emerald on my fucking Switch then, so I don't have to do that? Because you act like I have my Game Boy Advance and that it's working and that I still got a fucking cartridge that I could put in there. Like, you're actually fucking stupid if you think that that's how electronics work in a normal household. I'm pretty sure we all have old ass consoles, but sometimes they don't work that well because it's
Man.
not like we were fucking cleaning them 24/7.
Yeah, no.
So I mean, I don't know. The fact that they were starting to do the emulators on the Switch, I was like, okay, dude, this is great. I support this. This
Yeah.
is what I'd want. This is what I wanted for a long time.
It took them a long time to finally learn that that's just the route to go, because they realized people don't just keep GameCubes and Nintendo 64s forever. And then, and then on top of that, if you want to go buy Metroid Prime for GameCube, guess what? You're paying like minimum $90 fucking, or unless you find out a thrift store or some shit.
Yeah, because they're not making the fucking discs anymore. We can't get it at MSRP. So at that point, if I can't get it at MSRP and you're not making it, guess where I'm going? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I'm playing it on Dolphin, scaled up to freaking 4K. The fuck you talking about? But,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like you said, like, it makes more sense to just, like, I feel like a good example would be Demon Souls, because like when they kind of brought that back, because when Demon Souls first came out, From Software didn't have a lot of attention, but with the success of like Dark Souls and Bloodborne and Sekiro, they were able to come back and remake Demon Souls, and like now people are like, okay, like that's cool, because I didn't have a PS3. It's hard to get a PS3, and a PS3 is kind of dog shit anyway, so I'm happy to play this, you know, newer version of it.
Yeah, because I mean, like, what do game devs say? They get mad because they're like, oh, that's stealing, right?
Yeah.
And to be honest, I would support you, bitch. Just let me do that. If you don't want to let me do that, guess what the fuck I'm doing? The fuck out of here with that shit.
I mean,
like, it's really not that hard, bro. Like, I mean, listen, Capcom put Resident Evil 4, a game I played on fucking GameCube way back when, right? People probably played that shit on PS2 way back when. I paid $20 to play it again. I got no problem doing that. You understand this is an old ass game and the $20 is a reasonable fucking price. I'll do that. I'll fucking buy it and play like that. Yes, I could play it for free on Dolphin, right? But Dolphin, I have to have like a directory and all this bullshit and whatever, right? If I could buy it on Steam and that's all I gotta do, then that's all I gotta do. I'll do that. Some people don't know how to do it, which is, you know, whatever. And at that point, you're just not getting the money that you would normally have.
Yeah, that is the unfortunate thing about emulation. A lot of people just don't have the patience for it. You know, it seems simple to us because we're like tech savvy into computers, but for people that just want to like plug in and play, like they look at emulators as like very intimidating.
Yeah. And I mean, I get it for stuff
easy.
like the. I mean,
it's just fucking easy to YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Nemo, you'd be surprised, bro. People are that incompetent to where even YouTubing something is seen as difficult.
Nemo, I don't want to hear that from you. The amount of times I gotta fucking help you out with something is kind of nuts.
We still don't know what's going on with my fuck. Like it could be voice mod. All right.
I told you it's voice mod. I told you it's voice mod, but that's besides the point. You can't be saying like, "Oh yeah, some people just need to get out." Like, bitch, you don't even know what you're doing half the time. Don't you be the person? Yeah, through me, not a YouTube video like you were saying. Through me, bitch.
Bet.
Oh my god.
That reminds me, it was a TikTok I almost sent you, Andy, of what's the guy that does like PC videos, like Linus or something? Like,
oh yeah, Linus.
Yeah, he had did a video where he was just like ranting about how he's just done building PCs for people that are not willing to troubleshoot things themselves, like that are not actually problems with the PC. And he went on about like how he built a computer for a guy, and he kept like texting him over and over like there's something wrong like with the V-Sync, or like it's not going up to 120 frames. He's like, bro, like if it's not a problem with the fucking computer, like don't this fucking YouTube that shit. But it's like he went on and on. I almost sent it because I know you've experienced stuff like that. It probably tilts you too.
Dude, I literally had to go to someone's house to connect a fucking dongle for a headset because they didn't know that that's why they couldn't hear or talk on their headset.
It's crazy. Like it genuinely surprises me just how, like I said, incompetent people can be. It's just like you can realize how determined people are to learn something, and sometimes people have a very lack of it. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, you know what? It took me
Almost-
maybe like 2 minutes to look at the headset and be like, "Is it a HyperX? Is there any branding for like a particular model?" No.
Yeah.
I just typed in HyperX wireless headset. It came up. I saw a dongle, and I was like, "There's no dongle plugged in. That's why." And that's it. That's all it is, bro.
Yeah.
I get you though. Like, there has to be a sense of self-awareness that you have to have in order to be just slightly competent. That's all it is, bro. Like, it just comes down to being a little lazy.
Yeah. And I think the issue that's going about right now is like the whole like PC gaming and streaming. It's kind of like a trend, like especially like with TikTok, you're seeing all these videos of like, look at my setup and all this shit. So you're getting a lot of these younger generations that are just wanting to do that, but they're not PC gamers. Like they're not determined to like figure any of that shit out. They're not willing to. They just see it and they know they want it, and they get someone to build it for them. But the second anything goes wrong, they come to the realization that like, oh, like I'm not a technical person. Like I'm not invested in any of this. I just want to sit here and play games, but I'm not willing to actually figure out how this shit works.
Dude, the saddest thing I saw was that this kid was showing off his setup. He was like, "Yeah, this is my $800 computer, and I recently got uh a GTX 1650, and I play Fortnite on high." And I was like, "You spent $800 on your PC, and you got a fucking I was like, bro, you could have got a fucking 6700,
Yeah.
6700 XT, 6600 XT for that fucking money, and you would have got so much more performance." I don't know. That literally killed my soul for a second, because I was like, this kid did not. Whoever the fuck let him get the credit card and make that purchase, jail, please, please.
Yeah, it's just a lot of these youngins are falling victim to just like they hear something cool, or they hear PC is the best experience. They're like, all right, well let me go out and buy that. But it's like that you're entering a world that has a lot. Don't get me wrong. I love my PC and I will always game on it. Probably, way more than I will on console. But I speak to my chat every time I stream on how much I hate dealing with Windows, and I do love the moments where I can just play a game on my console and just play it and not have to deal with anything. But with some people, they just panic and they freak out when their PC fucks up. Meanwhile, I actually know how to just put on my thinking cap and start figuring shit out.
Yeah, dude. The amount of people I know in the tech world that work as IT or whatever, it's kind of crazy how, like, because I was about to get a certificate, like just so that I could be, quote unquote certified tech. Because I've met people that are right, and 9 times out of 10 they do the same shit I do. If something's weird, I look it up on Google. I'll YouTube it, and I'll be like, "Oh, okay, I got you. That's what's happening." And why the fuck I gotta spend that much money to get certification to just do that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like that's why college was pissing me off, because I was like, there is no way my professor just fucking told me I can't use a damn calculator. Because guess what? If I'm working on a fucking on a building, and you don't think that I'm just gonna use a calculator to make some fucking math on the fly? You got me fucked up. I'm not doing a whole equation. If I got to do logarithms, I'm busting out the fucking. I'm busting out the calculator, putting in the equation, and getting that goddamn shit on paper. I don't got the time or the patience to do all this shit on paper.
Yeah.
Well, see, for me, I try to YouTube shit. I try to fucking make shit work. If not, I fucking wait until Andy's there. That's why he gives me shit about it. But I'm like, dude, I still try to fucking YouTube.
I mean, I don't hold it against you if you actually like try to do something and you just couldn't figure it out. I'd be like, hey,
I'm
like,
not I'm not out here. This is like, oh, this is not my fucking thing. All right, I'm gonna wait for him. I'm just like, all right, let me see if I can get the shit done myself. And if I can't, I'm like, all right, get over here, please. Get in the call. This shit's scaring me.
But you know what, like Jordan said, I'll give you that. At least you tried yourself. But um, sometimes it's a lot simpler than people like to think. I mean, there are weird situations like how I think I said it last podcast, but like Fifth was telling me he was having issues with frames, right? And the second he told me that, you know, his RAM was at 3200, but he had a 5900X and a fucking 3080, I was like, okay, that's your problem. It's your RAM. Your RAM is fucking slow, so it's probably hanging up your system. My bad. 4090 with 3200 megahertz. That's you know, I mean, that's something that a lot of people probably just don't know, right? Like they probably go, oh, I heard that was a really good part because he had good parts. He has good parts. It's just his RAM was bad. I don't know who the fuck told him. Because he said that. Yeah, I thought 3200 was like the fastest, and I was like, no, no, it's not.
yeah, definitely not. He said also surprisingly, Jaqi didn't come back. Man, she upped and dipped.
Yeah, too cool for us.
That's what I don't know why Nemo be trying to like tilt her on purpose. You know that shit ain't gonna never end good.
Wait, was that really actually my fault?
I honestly was gonna say I'm not. I was surprised that actually tilted her. I thought that was just, you know, understood as a joke.
I don't even know what I said.
Well, I forgot. She was telling some type of story. Then like y'all said something at the end. I didn't even hear what y'all said, but she just. I knew the second she got silent, I was like, all right, well, there goes Jaqi.
I'm honestly trying to remember what I said. I don't.
Hey, listen, some heinous shit has been said to Nemo. That's all I gotta say. That's why I was like, oh, okay, this is not
Oh,
this is not
you're yelling
anything
at me?
crazy. No,
Oh, okay.
I'm saying like in the past, she's been like, yeah, dumbass, and I'm like, all right, listen, you don't want to go
I'm
that
used to it.
wild.
All right.
This pent up anger that she's holding, dude. One day when she sees you, is over.
Oh
She's gonna
god.
release her Bonkai soon.
Yeah,
Holy
Again,
shit.
I didn't know what she was saying.
no,
Well,
true.
I didn't know I got her mad or anyone mad today.
It's okay, Nemo. You're just a tilting person, a
Man,
angry individual.
I guess I am. I guess I am.
Yeah, you're kind of a bitch.
Fucking hell, dude.
I'm fucking yeah, you're kind of a bitch. Just being honest, bro. I'm just gonna throw it out there, you know.
Yeah, you're adopted.
Golly.
What?
Well, chat, I think right about there. Yeah, we're getting toward goddamn. We're fucking 3 hours and 40 minutes in. I'm gonna be honest.
damn.
I know some of y'all might not be a fan of long videos, but I don't give a fuck. I'm at the point. Look, I'm throwing it up there. Whoever watches the whole shit, you watch the whole shit. Whatever part you tune out, that's where you tune out. There's a slight chance I might cut this into 2 parts, but even if I don't, I'm not trying to hear nobody complaining like 3 hours for it. Like, look, if you don't want to watch it, don't fucking watch it, or watch it in pieces. Like, watch an hour a day, then an hour next day. But like I said, I'm trying to make these like minimal edits. I'm not trying to sit here and spend like 6 hours editing this shit. This one, this one might come a little bit later. Normally, I throw them up on YouTube the day after, but I might spend like a day editing this one, so this might not be up on YouTube till like Tuesday.
I think what I mean, if there's any edits at all or whatever, right? I think it's cool for the people that are here to watch it live to, see the whole thing,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Um, but I think if anything, if there's just like a couple topics that you want to include, I don't think people would be pressed if you didn't show everything, right? Like if you're just like, okay, let's go over all the RE shit. We'll cut the section where we're going over James's TikTok.
Yeah, nah, that part is definitely getting cut, and then the whole part where I tried to like log into my TikTok, yeah, like
yeah. See that shit, I could understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the future, I mean, I don't know. I think that doing the cuts anyway makes it more incentivizing. You're like, yeah, you can see the whole like all the shit that we that you don't cut out if you just watch it live. Because sometimes there's some funny shit that probably won't make it in.
Yeah, nah, definitely. And I feel like the cuts they'll definitely be a lot less noticeable in the future once I start like uploading these as like audio only. Because as audio only, you can't really tell, but with video only, you can kind of see like where we cut and replace shit. But when we do get to the point where I start like uploading these as audio, I'm gonna have to like change up a lot of shit. Because as of right now, if we were to just upload this podcast as audio only, it would that would not be all that good. Because there's like a lot of moments like where like sound redeems and Discord notifications, like I can't have that shit in the audio podcast.
I feel that.
But that's kind of what this is. We are practicing as we go. Each one will get better quality. We will correct our mistakes, and hopefully down the line it'll be top tier. You feel me?
Hell yeah, bruh.
But
Trash taste, I'm coming for you.
But all right, y'all. Before we close it off, do we have any closing statements from the people? Nemo?
Yeah,
Andy,
yeah.
James?
I got you. I got some. Don't spend $100 on Nikkei.
All right, just throwing it out there. There's a mobile game named Nikkei. The story is amazing. You should download it. It's free. You get 1 SSR at the start of the game.
Holy shit.
You can't see. This is the type of shit I'm going on, bro. This is funny as fuck. Yeah, no, just if you guys got any suggestions, if you guys would like us to have a more structured fucking conversation, I guess, just let us know. This is kind of just funny, us bullshitting.
Yeah,
I feel.
But I think it's better that way when we kind of just, well, not all the time, but if we like derail a little bit here and there, because it just makes it more like authentic. I kind of just hate playing it by the script like 24/7 because it just seems like more of a job. I just feel like I'd rather sit here and just talk about bullshit.
Yeah. But like, if the criticism, because criticism is valued. Like,
Yeah.
If you guys are like, oh, this is way too long or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
we could work on just setting a timer, and then if Jordan has that timer up there, he's like, all right, look, we're shooting for hour 30, 2 hours or something like that, and we're kind of dragging along on one topic. We could just I got no problem. We're like, okay, yeah, look, it's for time's sake, we got to cut it a little short so we can move on to the next.
Yeah, because I've noticed from most podcasts I follow, the sweet spot is like 2.5 hours. So like I feel like 3 isn't that bad, but once you get like close to 4, but I have seen a few that just go as long as they fucking feel like it. It's kind of one of those things like I'm always like on the fence about like, do I play by the rules on what works, or do I just do whatever the fuck I feel like it? And I never really quite know which route to go, because sometimes I'm just like, I'm gonna just do whatever the fuck. If I want to upload a 6-hour video, I'll do that. But then sometimes I'm like, well, if that's not gonna work, in terms of viewership, then maybe I shouldn't do that. So I don't really know what's the right route to go. Sometimes I just want to be like, fuck it, because I'm over here watching this dude I follow on stream. He just uploaded a 67-hour video to YouTube, and that shit has thousands of views. So I'm like, if he can upload something that long and pull in viewership, I'm pretty sure I can too.
True. I mean, dude, to be honest, I like listening to a lot of audio content while I'm at work. Just because like Not that I tune out or whatever, but it's a lot less that I had to keep up with if I don't have to see what's
Mhm.
going on, right? So like that whole Tekken segment when I was losing my shit, that's probably gonna be mad confusing. But I do listen to. I prefer having longer videos on when it's just audio shit rather than having to change the fucking video every 10 seconds to get a different story.
Yeah, I get you. And Danny, we'll probably stick to us four, or shit, James might be the fifth member, to be honest. But we will definitely have a lot of episodes where we have special guests, because I do want to have like a few episodes where like I might have like my boy Tune on or Chris on.
That'd be cool.
Or shit like that. So we will have plenty of guests, like where like Danny will slide through, or we'll have like, just people from the chat in here. So there'll definitely be plenty of opportunities for that. But I feel like as far as like the main people, it's usually just gonna be like me, Andy, Jaqi, and Nemo, and then James, like for the most part. But usually, or it might be even less. So there might be a day where like it'll just be me and Jaqi, or me and Andy. But for the most part, we will have like guest appearances pretty often.
Oh my! Oh, I hope we shall know Nikkei.
Man,
I'm just throwing it out there. Whoever downloads Nikkei, tell me what you get in the comments on your SSR polls. Don't be shy. Put it in the comments.
yeah. But like I kind of do want to get Danny on here for one episode just to see like a perspective from like a younger person on like a lot of just like topics, and just to see like, I don't know.
You know what? Just for James, I think I'm in the Discord server, my Discord server. I'm gonna put a Nikkei section. That way that if
No, I already did. Richie put me admin.
I know you did that here. You put a role, but I'm saying like I'll put like
Oh.
an actual channel on my shit so that you
Okay.
can put
I mean,
your
I can do
polls
it.
and
It doesn't
shit.
matter.
All right, man.
Fucking A. Well, ladies and gents, that is episode 2. We're gonna call it there. Appreciate y'all that slid through. So I'm assuming Sunday is the official day. I had announced on my YouTube that it would be Saturday, but I think Sundays are the days that work a little bit better. So the live streams will be every Sunday, but I don't know when they'll be uploaded to YouTube. Just keep an eye out for those. But all right, y'all. I appreciate y'all sliding through, but until the next time, we are outro. You feel me?